Hello there. It's Thursday, noon Eastern. That means it's time to bash. If you don't know what the bash is, it is a time where I draft Best Ball Mania teams with you guys, the YouTube members. It's that easy. If you're a member on the channel, does not matter what level, you are eligible to enter a drawing. All you do right now or throughout the duration of the show, put the hashtag #JoinTheBash in the chat. I'll spin a wheel. If your name comes up, I'll send you the link. You hop on the stream. I pay for the entry. We split any of the winnings if we can get a team to the finals. It's as simple as that. Coming off of a special night with the YouTube members last night, let's keep it rolling here on the Bash. Welcome to the Best Ball Bash. We are throwing a party. One of you guys in the chat will be hopping on stream to draft, and then we will split the $2 million prize.
We are in the 2020 Honda Civic.
I think we got to lock him up.
You're going to be able to get us Jalen Knoll to fall by staring them down in the eye right now.
That's exactly what I'm trying to do, Pete.
Lock him up.
That's my kind of guy. I am going to need a howl from you.
Hopefully none of my neighbors mind.
Oh, this is going to be my life. This is so much fun.
All right. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, GMs all around. Tom is just here to see if BBG gets on stream. I would love for BBG to toss his name in the ring, and I would love for the randomizer gods to shine favor on him. I would absolutely love that for all of us. What is up, Chris, Chad? Oh my God, Shorty. I feel like I haven't seen Shorty since the end of the season. How you been, brother? I miss your big, beautiful galaxy brain around here. Keep the Join the Bashes coming here. We got 9 entries so far. We'll let the people trickle in, and then we will spin the wheel in the next couple of minutes and get this party popping. Last week, was it last week? Yeah. Off to a rocky start with the Bash. I feel like we had technical difficulties. Was it Raylish? Wanted to come on, that couldn't come on. I will just say this right now. If you can always put your name in the drawing for the second spot on the show. You know, if you're busy right now and in 30, 45 minutes, just wait to put it in. If you have your entry in now, please be eligible to come on stream within the next 2 or 3 minutes. So that's me trying to alleviate any issues like last week. And this is the other thing. Spots are not transferable. Last week, the people wanted to transfer to Huhames, and guess what? The randomizer gods put Huhames on the board. You didn't even need to give him the slot. The only other rule, as I've mentioned before, if you were on the show last week, you got to sit this one out. We got to get some fresh faces up here. And maybe it's not fresh. Maybe it's someone who's been on a stream recently. But the one rule is if you were on last week, take a 1-week breather and then get back in these streets. There's Raylish. Wants another 0 RB draft. The people did not like your 0 RB draft last week, Raylish, but I had fun. I had fun drafting it with you. All right, let's do this. We got 13 entries in here. Like I said, if you show up late, feel free to toss your name in the chat. We will hopefully get to multiple drafts today. Got a couple hours to hang out and draft with you guys. Let's get the drawing up on the stream. Hashtag join the bash. The chat is gated to YouTube members only. So if you are not a YouTube member, you will not be able to enter. And based off of last night, we have a lot of new YouTube members there. All right, let's see here. Let's spin the wheel. We got 13 people ready to rock here. I have so many. There we go. There we go. All right, good luck to everyone. Our first Best Ball Bash guest today will be, drumroll please, also be prepared for the rug pull. It does happen. Raylish, I just told you. Okay, all right. Wells Fournie, our guy from TikTok who got panned by Pat Mayo in the audition episode. I'm excited to talk with Wells. All I know him from is his TikTok, his submission. Confident guy. Fired some shots, said he touts better than everybody. Me, Liam, Herzig, Davis. Now we can see what this man does in a live draft setting. Wells, shoot me a message. Shoot me a message here on Twitter works, Discord works. Oh yeah, give Daddy a Spike says this is my first time seeing the wheel and not just listening on Spotify after the fact. Yeah, so for people who aren't familiar, what happens is this StreamYard randomizer wheel, it does this thing where it like semi glitches on a name right before it flips to a new name. And so you always, if you're not familiar, you get your heart, you get your hopes up thinking it's you, and then StreamYard rugs you. So you got to be careful for that. Luckily, the veterans are well aware of that dynamic. Won't let me on Twitter. What is do you have the same handle on Twitter? I'll DM it to you. Is it Wells Fournie? Oh, I see you. Thank you. You just added me. I got you, brother. I am sending you the link right now. You got it. You should have it there in your DMs. Let me get a draft up here. Even if you didn't make it in or on the stream, you're still more than welcome to draft with us here. Wow. Is this true, Tom? Let me see. Did I just get a follow? I don't know. What a tough scene. What a tough scene. All right. Here he is. Wells, welcome to Best Ball Bash, sir. How you doing?
Living, Pete. How about yourself? I can tell the chat is not a big fan of me up here already, but happy to entertain as I can.
Wait, where? I'm not seeing that. Where are you seeing that?
Tom's energy is throwing me off a little, not gonna lie. I've been getting a lot of negativity, but for whatever reason, my So You Think You Can Tout video seems to be sticking with people for whatever reason.
Well,
so,
dude, that's good though, right? Because it's like, one thing I've noticed, and I'm gonna hop in a draft where we'll bounce around on some topics here along with drafting. But I mean, some people were like, "Oh man, Mayo didn't review me. I didn't get a chance." Yada yada. They were upset about that. And then there's some people who got crushed by Mayo, and then they were upset by that. It's hard to know what you want, right? Like I'm not saying you, but I'm saying in general, like, do you want the chance to basically elicit a reaction? Or if you're just so down the middle average, you don't elicit any reaction at all?
No, 100%. I mean, I'm just so impressed with the content that you guys are putting on. I think it's a phenomenal opportunity for whoever wins it at the end of the day. The feedback that you guys gave is just like priceless, essentially. So I encourage other people like myself to hopefully take that back. And as you can tell, I'm trying to slow down the way I speak, but
I was just going to say, if there was any confusion about the allegations that you sped up your video, you have just absolutely confirmed that you did not, because you do talk. I talk kind of fast. You are on a different level than me with talking fast.
Yeah, it's the world of TikTok, man. It's the only way to keep their attention and actually respond to them in a timely manner. Otherwise, they're like, screw you, I'm scrolling away. So doing our best.
Is that really, like, are you saying that before you started doing TikTok, you were a little more methodical with your speech and the algorithm has like fundamentally changed how you talk?
In a sense, yeah, it's kind of forced me to change the way I speak, just because it's like, you look at the TikTok comment section, it's just like, okay, in order to get to all these, I got to basically like act like I'm an auctioneer, and half the time the comments are like, you should get into auctioneering. And I'm just like, all right, sure, why not? And you just speed through it. But before, yeah, I like to think I talked slower. But I guess only history will tell at this point.
That's really interesting, but it does make sense. Let's make this pick here. We're on the clock at 105. Best Ball Mania draft. Do you like JSN? Do you like running backs, JT, McCaffrey, a wild card?
I'm a guy who kind of likes to reach for the players they're confident in. I would like to lean towards Justin Jefferson or CeeDee Lamb.
You pick.
Let's lean a little bit more towards Justin Jefferson. There we go. That works.
Sweet.
This way we can get Tyler later if we need him.
So give me, obviously I know you have a following on TikTok, but I think that's about all I know about you. Tell me, how did you get going there? Was TikTok always the spot you were like, hey, let me build my audience there? How did that all transpire?
Yeah, so TikTok was essentially what kind of got me started in just creating content in general. So I originally worked as kind of like a copy paste guy for this page called Memes, helped him create a following on there for a while. It was literally just copy and pasting memes, nothing intelligent there. And then I found this company called Prediction Strike, and I saw that they basically needed help with some sort of social media because they just got started back up. I was like, okay, let's give this a shot. And so I was like, let me just do social media for you guys. And that kind of ended up being a phenomenal thing for a few years there. Then unfortunately, the company itself shut down. So they're just like, well, the company's dead. What are we going to do with this TikTok account? And I'm like, I built a community over 4 years that still thinks I'm somewhat intelligent at this. I'd like to use it. And they're like, okay, it's yours. Like, so be it. So currently trying to build that and now doing contract work for a finance company to help them with social media presence.
So you pivoted the existing audience, like changed whatever the prediction strike, and then started doing fantasy football content to that built-in audience?
So Prediction Strike itself, when it was around, was this company called the Stock Market for Sports, and it was based off of fantasy markets more than anything. So if a player went above their projection, the stock rose. If they missed a projection, it went down, was the core principle behind it. And so all I did was talk about fantasy football and just fantasy sports on there, some of which registered really well, like the fantasy football. That was how we grew the audience so dramatically. But like, if I were to talk about like Prediction Strike itself, I would get flagged like crazy by TikTok. And be like, hey, this is gambling or crypto, and we're out of there.
Yeah.
So it was an interesting.
Well, that makes sense then, because, you know, in some instances, I'm like, man, that had to have been such a jarring shift for your audience. But if they were already conditioned to just talking about fantasy football under a slightly different umbrella, then it sounds like it was pretty smooth.
Yeah, for the most part. I mean, at the end of the day, they're just kind of like, so when's more content coming out? Like, can you do more? And I'm like, I'm not as intelligent as some of the people in the space like Peter here.
Drake London, Brock Bowers, Derrick Henry, Jeremiah Love, Chase Brown, some of the names at the top of the queue. Anyone jump out to you?
It's going to be Brock Bowers. As you saw in my video, I take some very strong stands as well. I think he's a guy that should be like 80% exposure at this price. Like, I think there's a very good chance he should be the 103 when you think about it, because it's like, if these receivers actually reach their ceiling values, right, that means they're getting 170 plus target season, something like that. Bowers, in theory, is in that mold, except he has like the position uniqueness that like I feel like you should favor more. Like, because then what's the difference between like him and Puka or Jefferson or Chase or anything like that? But perhaps alone there.
And so you receive this this TikTok account. Were they? I mean, how many followers did it have when you kind of inherited it solo?
So I mean, for what it's worth, like I built this community up over 4 years, so it's like you said, it's really not that crazy of a transition, but it's a little over 50,000. I built this over time, and now it's just trying to transition to like something personal. It's a much more difficult challenge. It's why I wanted to get more involved with the So You Think You Can Tout competition, because it's like, can I actually do this instead of just being like paid to do it?
Yeah. All right, on the clock by ADP, AJ Brown, ETN, Devontae Smith, Breece Hall, Ted Arroyo, Olave, Kyron. What jumps out?
I imagine that AJ Brown or Devonta Smith's going to get more expensive. I'm a big Devonta Smith guy personally.
I like it. We'll take him here. So you're not scared of zero RB, it looks like. Jefferson, Devonta, Brock?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see how this plays. Ultimately, it's going to need a lot more running backs on this team.
Yeah. So I'm curious too, like about some of your experiences on TikTok. It sounds like you found a way to not only kind of connect with the people in your following, but you're doing the necessary things with hooks, getting to people's questions quickly, really understanding the TikTok meta. What are some of the, from someone who just posts videos but is not good on TikTok, what are some of the things I should know about what plays well over there?
I would say more than anything, just looking directly at the camera, which I'm not very good on here, so I'm doing my best to look into it now. But like, that's like a big thing, because ultimately, like, you want to relate to the audience and you want to just provide them the information that they are looking for. Like, they just want it. Like, it's, if you think that, I'm trying to think of like a good hook off the top of my head here, but it's just like, if you're looking for like the best buy low running backs, essentially, it's like, these are the three running backs that you need to be buying low on. Obviously, I sped through that there, but like, you're trying to get their attention that first 3 to 4 seconds, and then you're trying to basically get 2 seconds worth of content, because that's how long you're retaining their attention. Every 2 seconds. You want to have something new flashing on the screen. The person that I try to model some of my stuff off of, that I think is by far and away the best on TikTok, is Joel Smith. I know he's more popular with fantasy now, but like, he is very, very good at his overall, just how he produces content.
And I'm not familiar with him. I'll have to look him up. Do you ever find, from afar, I sometimes feel like we all want to play the algorithm smart. We don't want to just like bash our head against the wall, but sometimes it can feel like a little soulless. Like, are you getting to make the content you really enjoy to make, or are you just playing a video game that happens to be about fantasy football?
Yeah, I mean, it's about educating, providing useful information, and which is something that you were excellent at. And you like the big thing that like I think you would be very successful on TikTok with is just like your ability to create it and just make people feel as if they're part of this amazing community, which they are. Like that's the big thing that sticks out for me when I'm doing like lives on social media.
Lad, Luther, Mike Evans, JMO, David Montgomery, Jalen Waddle, McLaurin, Adams.
Let's go with Lad.
Grab Lad here. Yeah. So have you experienced most of your growth from those live Q&As or from, pre-recorded uploads?
It's always like the thing that I would say for you specifically, it's like you got to do something different than just taking clips from here, because like this is going to obviously work really well for your audience. They get it, they understand it. But like TikTok, they want something new, they want something original, and ultimately like they're not looking for the most profound build. Like obviously if you do, I want to say it was that Cups guy, like when I saw his video I was like, damn, like if he started doing TikTok, like I think he would really take off. Like the quality of production can count, but it's just like they want a straightforward take, you talking and like actually having some substance behind it, and therefore like it's really just about trying to sit there and give them like, these are the 3 running backs I think you should buy low on, and it's like Aaron Jones, Rashad White, and Jonathan Brooks before he skyrockets 30 more picks up ADP. Yeah, like that's all they're looking for.
Let's make this pick here. Early 5th round, we got Jefferson, Devonta Smith, Ladd, and Brock Bowers. A 0 RB build cooking. Best available is Mike Evans, Waddle, McLaurin, Adams, Rome, Jadarian Price, and Touton are the running backs. What do you think?
All right. Well, I already previewed it on that video, but I got Facial Touton as a top 5 running back this year, so that's where we're going.
Love it. Talk to me on Bayshell. He's obviously kind of a controversial pick right now. Obviously, there's some Chris Rodriguez bowls. There's some people who think, the Touton stuff is a little too frothy. Why are you so firmly on Team Touton here?
I mean, I'm a big fan of just a lot of people in the industry just make such phenomenal content. I think what Ryan Heath does in terms of just the overall prospect profiles, JJ Zachariason, like I like listening to what they all say, and basically every single one of them is just like, hey, if this guy ever gets like run, he's probably going to be a smash. And when you look at Liam Cohen's offense, the probability is he's likely going to produce a top 10 running back, I would imagine. I'm just a very big believer in just Liam Cohen is kind of the short summation of it. But I'm also someone who's like, instead of just taking Bayshell Touton, I'm probably going to encourage us to take, Chris Rodriguez a bit later in the draft, because I've been burned too many times just taking one side of the running back room.
That you're open to playing. I feel like that's a lesson that you really start to learn when you play a lot of best ball and you build a portfolio, that I think people who play in a single league or even just a couple of leagues, they like can't wrap their head around that portfolio mindset. It sounds like you're deep into the weeds of like best ball and hardcore fantasy stuff. Do you talk a lot of best ball and stuff on your live stream, or is it really more for redraft bros and just a couple of leagues?
I mean, for me, like best ball has been just life-changing in the sense of it's completely changed the way we examine this market and talk about it. Like we get so much quality information from just everyone in the industry that it's like, okay, now we can start seeing how these patterns play out over time, because best ball is a season-long contest. So we can see like these season-long results. Because my first thing got like blown up on TikTok was just going, okay, if you have a top 10 running back from the previous season, you shouldn't draft them, which is terrible logic in one sense.
Oops, hang on. Sorry, real quick. We're on the clock here. Burrow, Chuba Hubbard, Tyler Warren, Hurts, Caleb Williams, Alec Pierce, Ramondre, RJ Harvey, Addison, Metcalf.
Let's go ahead and take Chuba here.
All right, we'll get him here.
I hate the pick personally, but structurally, I think we need it.
Keep going though.
But in generally, sorry, I forgot exactly where I was. So it's just like this whole kind of theory of like, let's fade guys who finished top 10 as a running back before. The concept of it is it's kind of dumb, but it's like when you look at the historical, just season-long rates, only 3 to 4 stay inside the top 10. Same thing with receivers, and this is kind of the basis of what we started a lot of the conversations with. And just these fantasy lives. And then what we'd go on is just talking about the overall structures and just points of like, how do we find the better players? Like how can we utilize this essentially to find those plays instead of just being like, okay, let's fade Derrick Henry this year. What does that mean if we're fading Derrick Henry? Does that make Zay Flowers a better play? Does it make Lamar Jackson a better play? Like, what are the surrounding variables? So it's kind of just taking one point and then just build off of that if we can, and see where it takes us. So for last year, a big stand for me was like, I understand why everybody was very against Matthew Stafford because of the whole back thing, but to me that just seemed very logical with how Sean McVay went about things. And then you saw where Dak Prescott was priced relative to him. Like it was a 10-pick gap for a 30-plus point differential of total points, which was awesome.
We're back on the clock here. Caleb Williams, Metcalf, Addison, Kraft, Harvey, Sutton, Warren, some of the top options there.
Let's go with RJ Harvey.
RJ Harvey. Yeah, he's been, a controversial pick. He's obviously dropped a decent amount since the NFL draft. How do you see that backfield shaking out?
My process is pretty simple when it comes to running backs. If you have a high win total and a top 5 paid offensive line, I'm going to have interest. So I've been wrong on who's the correct back. For all I know, it could be J.K. Dobbins. He's a guy who's just a massive spur in my portfolio last year. But there's a very real chance it could be Harvey. And he still has a role. Jonah Coleman, maybe a guy we're clicking later. Like, there's a lot of avenues for Denver to have success in the run game this year. So pretty simple there.
Do you do you make your full-time living on TikTok, or do you have another gig?
No. So right now I'm doing contract work for this company called Flow Finance, where essentially they help you superpower your business. So if you don't want to do the financials or anything along those lines or the boring HR stuff, they'll help pair you with an expert to do that. I'm just getting started there. So apologies to JJ if you're watching this and you're like, Wells, what the hell are you doing? But yeah.
As in you ruined the pitch, or why are you drafting a best ball team and not working for us right now?
Probably a bit of both. He's just like, dude, I like, you just got hired. What are you doing? But yeah, it's just more about trying to play around with content creation and see where we go from there. Try out these AI shorts. I don't know if your audience has been watching these because like, I'm not sure how involved everyone is on TikTok, but like AI on TikTok has been absolutely insane. They've decided to recreate some of the most insane stories. Like Fruit Love Island went mega viral for a while. Now, like anything with fruits right now is going nuts. I don't really get it, but
that's the meta.
People love fruit. So if you want to go into content creation on TikTok, start playing with fruits, I guess is my advice.
Well, have you thought, you got to figure out how to map this onto what you do. Fantasy football debates as fruit. DK Metcalf's a cucumber and Michael Pittman Jr. is an avocado. Make it happen, dude.
What do we call Caleb Williams? Like, that's the real question.
All right. We're about to pick at 8-8. Tootin, Chuba, RJ Harvey, Justin Jefferson, Devontae Smith, Ladd McConkey, Brock Bowers. I do got the solver up here as well if we need a little bit of hand holding, but I think you got some strong takes here. What would you like to do?
All right. So it wants us to take a quarterback here. I guess we'll go with Brock Purdy.
Brock Purdy, come on down. So naked Brock Purdy. We could potentially get Pearsall. Stribling, of course, is always there.
That's the guy that we need. Like, he seems to be the person that everyone hates. I'll happily join Pat's side on this one. I like taking the annoying side. It's more fun. And we get a Shanahan quarterback here who's got a little sauce to him.
So speaking of a little sauce, like one of the things that stood out in your submission, and I liked it because it made my ears perk up where you're like, I'll tout better than all these guys, any of these best ball bros, whatever. But then you come on here and you're like, I love all this content. You're saying nice things. So where is the truth? Are you sitting over there on TikTok like I'm better than everybody? Or was that just to kind of, get our attention?
It was more so to get your attention. It was also to answer like the fundamental question you asked for the contest. It was like, do you think you can tout? Like, that's the point of the contest itself. So I was like, yeah, I think I can tout. I think I can do this. And like, here's my analytics for why I think I can tout. Now, touting on YouTube is a whole
Hang on, real
entire...
quick. Let's get back to it. So we're on the clock. You could do Kyler Murray with Jefferson. You could get Josh Downs, Jackson Dart. What would you like to do?
Let's do Kyler Murray with Jefferson. As much as I love Dart, I'm a bit more skeptic on him this year.
Okay. Sorry, keep going now.
But yeah, at the same time, like, I have nothing but like heart for people who do constant content creation, and more specifically, like what you're doing for the content of fantasy football. Like, you are a massive catalyst for the industry itself in terms of like just how involved. Like, I don't know. I have nothing but applause for that. But yes, when you put out a competition that's like, hey, do you think you can tout? Like, do you think, and it's like, do you think you like, you're asking people, it's like, do you think you can tout better than us? Like, I have that in the TikTok live chat all the time being like, you fucking suck. And I'm like, you know what? You're right. There are some weekends where I get everything wrong. And then there's some weekends where I look like I'm intelligent. It's fine. Like, I'll play both sides of the coin. Like, I've been wrong before. I'm very confident I will be wrong again. But in general, I have nothing but appreciation. Like, I called out like Justin Herzig, Davis Maddock, and Liam because they're all three different sectors of like best ball stratosphere. But to me, it's like these are some of the smartest minds in the space that I do still appreciate them, even though Liam's entire personality is nothing about the Bills. Like, he's still a winner and like still knows how to get people going with his audience. Yeah.
Do you like your audience? Like, do they care about receipts? Do they care about your track record?
Oh yeah, they
trust
me. I remember I'll have people go in that have created like 5 different personas that have been like, this is my 5th account. You suck. I remember when you said to fade Derrick Henry last year, and guess what? He dropped 50 fantasy points in my championship weekend, and I'm like, it was a good fade in theory for the majority of the year, but you're right. I was wrong. I look like an idiot.
And what do they ultimately want for, because obviously that I don't deal with that quite as much, but do they want you to like hold the L for them? Do they want you to apologize? What do they want to make that good?
I mean, I'm not going to lie. Because when I work with Prediction Strike, part of it was generally like, how can we try to get the audience's attention? Like, how do we stay involved with them? Like, what is kind of the build that we can go after here? So on Mondays, I would generally do streams that were just, here were my shit picks from this week. Like, here, like I got some right. And it's like, I would have a guy who, like, I remember one weekend I had Gabe Davis, called him as a must start, and he ended up being the wide receiver 1 on that, like 2 spike weeks. And like, I had a bunch of other shit plays. No one gave a shit about Gabe Davis. They're just like, oh, Elijah Moore, dog shit. You suck at this. Who would ever pay you? And I'm like, you know what? You're 100% right. But here, I really like Wan'Dale Robinson.
Wan'Dale Robinson, come on down. He is our 4th wide receiver.
Perfect.
Brock Purdy, Kyler Murray, Bashal Tootin, Chuba Hubbard, RJ Harvey, Justin Jefferson, Devontae Smith, Ladd McConkey, Wan'Dale Robinson, Brock Bowers. Yeah, I mean, I think that's the interesting thing too. Like, when you have an audience of that size too, you're always going to have people approaching things from different angles. Like, I'm sure you have people there that are like, oh, Wells is live. I just want to hang out, vibe with him. I like listening to him talk shop. And then you're going to have what? The transactional people who are just coming through the door, dine and dash their question, get out of there. They don't fucking care. You are just a proxy to give them what they want, and then they discard you.
Oh yeah, they're just like, it's the most annoying thing for like the TikTok live streams that I would try to explain to my bosses. I was just like, listen, what'll happen half the time is these people will just want my start sits. They want to know, am I starting the right person? Which half the time they're not. Like, the people that are in this chat know what they're talking about. They're very intelligent when it comes to fantasy football. So it's like, okay, yes, of course I'm going to start Brock Bowers over Greg Dulcich this weekend. You understand that. But some people will see Greg Dulcich and are just like, I don't know if I should start Brock Bowers, man. So they'll like spam that 3 times, then scream at you, and then it's just a whole thing. It's not as calm as the YouTube chat. Although I'm curious to hear about what kind of happened.
Hey guys, let's make this pick. Khalil Shakur, Jordan Mason, Jalen Coker, Omar Cooper.
Do we have any running backs, or were they all stolen?
Jordan Mason with Minnesota.
Nah, actually, yeah, Jordan Mason's great.
Sorry. It was too late. I just did Solver's top suggestion there with Shakir. But yeah, sorry. I'll make sure we are more on top of it going over.
Well, we'll just have to deal with Liam when Khalil Shakir goes off for 30 in week 17. It's fine.
Yeah. So let me do a quick. Here's the so we got Brock and Kyler. We got Tootin, Chuba Hubbard, RJ Harvey, 5 wide receivers: Jefferson, Devontae Smith, Ladd, Wan'Dale Robinson, Khalil Shakur, Brock Bowers. Other than that Shakir click, you feeling good about this team?
I was feeling good until Khalil Shakir, and then I was like, damn it. But it is what it is. It happens. But yeah, no. More than anything, just appreciative to cap on here. That was kind of one of the goals, was to at least be able to say I did one live stream with Pete this summer. So I'm very happy about that.
No, it's awesome, and I appreciate you hopping on and stay. And honestly, it's been really nice for me. I know, like, again, some people where it's like, oh, Mayo didn't like my submission or whatever, and now I'm just like disappearing again. But like, to me, part of this, and Mayo said this, and it's like the continuing to show up. You've already established that because you have to show up on TikTok constantly to maintain that. But that really is, to me, like the biggest thing from a meta content creation standpoint is like, yeah, would getting more stamp of approval on the show have been great? Sure. But you got to keep fucking doing it. Like, we have all taken our lumps. We have all been rejected. And if all it takes is one little rejection or bad note to derail your entire content career, then you weren't built for this in the first place.
Yeah. Because at the end of the day, like, the haters are like, you're not doing well unless you have haters, as dumb as it sounds. Like, you want the haters. You really do. Because ultimately, like, they're showing that you have success, because you're going to, as many haters as you have, you're going to have twice as many fans, I imagine.
For sure. So. Especially when you're making a reality TV show. Having haters is a very much a feature and not a bug. Let's make sure we don't auto draft a Dusty Shakir, a little homage to your favorite Chess Liam here. Dallas Goedert, Jalen McMillan. We got SYTYCT up here. Which position do you want to look at?
I'm curious about what running backs we have. I mean, I'm willing to take Dallas Goedert, 25 picks at past ADP. Like,
yeah,
that's cool with me. Yeah, I'd do that.
He's not past 8. His ADP is 136. We're at 139.
Oh, it's 136. Oh, I mean, I'd take Jonah Coleman personally.
Okay, let me see if I can get it in at the last second. Okay, yeah, we're good. Jonah Coleman. So this is what you were talking about. You're okay kind of handcuffing, playing both sides, not only across the portfolio, but on the same team?
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, like, that's the big thing that I've learned from best ball, because it's like, if you check my exposures last year, I had 80% RJ Harvey. It was great for the back half when he was actually, like, producing something, but for the front half when J.K. Dobbins was the only reason that, like, the backfield was doing well, I was in so much pain with my portfolio. Had I taken a lot more J.K. Dobbins, had I taken Travis Etienne, my portfolio would have looked drastically better. That 48% Puka Nacua would have looked sick with those pieces, but unfortunately, I was not intelligent enough to do so. So best ball really makes you like look at yourself half the time and be like, so that wasn't as intelligent of a decision as you thought it was.
All right, back on the clock here. We did pass on Goddard, who goes, Hawkinson's here if you wanted to double stack Kyler. Cam Ward, if you wanted to stack Wandell and get a third. Denzel Boston, Travis Hunter, Algier, Sharp, Spears, Sampson.
Let's go with TJ Hawkinson. Let's get that double stack.
All right, we will go TJ Hawkinson. Real quick here, too, I'm actually going to spin for our next guest after you, just so we can get that all set up. We got about 5 more rounds, but I want to get the next person in the queue ready to go. We are going to, oops. No, please tell me I didn't. You guys might, oh, no. Did I mess this up? Oh, no. I might have just made no, we'll be good. I just have to go back in here and use the, I got scared for a second. All right, we are going to spin again. Actually, guys, you're going to have to re-put in join the bash, which is honestly fine because I need to make sure that you're still around and able to do this. So we'll wait another round or two, put in the hashtag again. It looked like some of them got cleared out. We're only at 5 right now. If you want to get on the stream to draft again in the next, I don't know, I would say 10, 15 minutes, put join the bash in the chat. I'll spin in a couple of rounds. I was going to ask you, it sounds like you're really passionate about best ball. I'm guessing it's hard for you. You can't just do exclusively best ball stuff on your TikTok. Like your followers aren't ready for that. If you were to do more best ball specific content, would you go to a different platform? Would you spin up a separate best ball account on TikTok? How would you play that?
I would likely have to go a bit more on YouTube because it's just not going to transfer as well on TikTok. Unfortunately, the few times I have tried doing like a best ball stream on TikTok, it's generally like flagged the stream and taken it down to the point where I'm like, that's scary. But first, let's look what we have.
Denzel
here.
Boston, Brian Robinson, Calvin Ridley are some of the suggestions. Hunter here as well. Stribling, if we want to pull the trigger.
Let's go ahead and pull trigger on Stribling.
All right. Pick 164. His ADP is 168. Seems fine to get us that Purdy stack.
Wonderful. All right. Then let's see. Is my usual.
So why does doing a draft on TikTok Live gets flagged as something that breaks their terms?
I don't know why, because the big thing that I would do is like I would do mock drafts on there, which like I love having action on something. It's a lot more difficult for me to do something for free. So I'm like, all right, we're going to do these mock drafts. And then it was on Sleeper as well. So I'm like, all right, there's literally nothing wrong with this. And TikTok would be like, nope, this is not allowed to be shown on our platform. I have to go through the whole entire like process, like reapproval process, essentially. And it was just hell. It was ridiculous. So I'm like, all right, if I'm going to do best ball, I'm going to have to probably do this on YouTube. So in a vein, like I am starting somewhat new because TikTok is also just weird. I think with the new update, they got rid of the path to YouTube. I think we're up here.
Yeah.
Let's go with Mendoza.
Mendoza as our QB3 here. We will grab him stacked up with Brock Bowers. So we now have all three of our quarterbacks stacked. Brock with Stribling, Kyler with Jefferson, and Hawkinson, and Mendoza with Bowers.
All right. Yeah, and all right, we'll figure out a fifth running back. That'll be fine.
All right. I'm going to spin again. It looks like we are back to 18 entries, which I believe was exactly what it was when I accidentally backed out of the giveaway mechanism. So we're going to spin here again. Good luck to everyone. If your name comes up, you will be hopping on here in the next few minutes to draft a Best Ball Mania team with me. Look at this. Give Daddy a Spike. I don't know this person, but they got rug pulled by the system the first spin. They got teased, and now it comes up in their favor. I do not recognize your username, Give Daddy, so feel free to DM me on Discord or Twitter if you want to drop your handle like Wells did in the chat as well. That's helpful, and we will get you on stream here shortly. Wells, we have 3 more rounds here. We're at a 3-4-6-2. You've kind of balanced out positionally. Is there anything specifically you're going to try to do here?
I got some late darts that I really like. I'm just trying to think of what's the best order for them. My concern is getting sniped. That's always my big concern. So this is what I was thinking for the running back.
Oh, this guy's a pro. See, this just took me. I haven't had something like this since when we draft our ship chasing, like main event teams in August, and there's a lot of money on the line. And eventually we're so sick of getting sniped that we're like, let's just say it in the chat for once here. So I'm getting a cue in the private chat, folks. I love this. You don't trust these chat rats from sniping you.
Yeah, that was the thing that was really difficult when I did do the mock drafts. Half the time it was just a contest to see who could take my pick the quickest. And I was like, I'm not doing that, especially when money's on the line and we have the chance to do something great. Not where I'm at.
So we're on the clock. Was it Ray Davis is your guy?
Yeah, Ray Davis.
Wait a second. I'm starting to think you do really like Liam, Khalil Shakur, and Ray Davis, Wells.
Yeah, I mean, I'm willing to take the chance on the whole Ray Davis thing because it's like, one, he's just a special talent. But it's like if James Cook fails because he's coming off of a historic season, then Ray Davis is likely someone that could succeed. So
I like it.
I like his swing there. I think the second one is just going to be a cabal, is what it looks like. My concern is when we're all just sitting there crying about it, but I'm willing to be hurt again by this play. I've lost so much money on him already in my life, but I'm willing to do it again.
No, I like the Ray Davis one too. I mean, we've been talking about it. It's obviously super hard to find running backs where you feel decent about their role this late in drafts. And, you know, yes, is there always the specter of the Ty Johnson type? Sure. But I think Ray Davis having that 3-down skill set, even if he cedes a little bit to Ty Johnson in the event of a Cook injury, is pretty intriguing. All right. Which name do you want now from your queue?
Let's go with the tight end because I'm confident that ultimately he'd get sniped.
All right. So you're confident that Greg Dulcich has enough fans to get sniped at an ADP at 211?
I think so. I think ultimately he's going to end up in the 15th, 16th round by the time season gets here, at minimum. But, like, there's so much steam already coming. Nobody wants to draft Caleb Douglas. No one wants to, like, Chris Bell. I love him as a prospect, but ultimately, like, it's going to be a back half play, if anything. And what are we going to get? 26 to maybe 30 bounce attempts a game if we're lucky?
Yeah. That makes sense. So when I asked you about the best ball question, is that something, are you considering making a YouTube channel? Or you're just like, yeah, I'm good as is.
I'll likely do it. It's just more so of like, what is this schedule that I'm really going to be dealing with? I just got engaged as well, so I've got to deal with all that fun jazz. So planning is going to be fun, which is really more of me just kind of sitting there looking at my fiance and be like, whatever you say, I'm more than happy with. But yeah, I'm probably going to do more stuff on YouTube than anything. It'll probably be more like a Liam style stream more than anything. but I'll try to get up to a tier more like yours and Davis's specifically.
Where do you live? Like, where are you based out of?
I'm down in Fort Myers, Florida. I was originally in Jupiter, but Fort Myers on the southwest side. So
okay,
it's nice here.
Sounds nice.
Yeah, I'm not married to the game. I'm working on it though, Emo Cowboy. But I have some really nice boots, hats, and some bull skulls back here if you ever want to see them.
All right, yeah. Are you worried about getting married, eating into your time to be a fantasy football obsessive?
No, that was part of why I married her. I'm not married her. Engaged. Well, yeah. She's just been nothing but my #1 supporter no matter what. Like, even when like I was taking a chance on Prediction Strike, a lot of people were just like, what the hell is this guy doing TikTok? He looks like an idiot. She was like, go for it. Be you. Like, awesome. And that's all I've ever wanted in life. So let's go with SYTYCT here. I'm a big fan of him. I think he's got a good chance to be the wide receiver 2 in Baltimore. Some ugly plays I did want to chat about with you before I go. I know everybody's becoming more fascinated with Zachariah Branch. I thought Shady Advice coming in talking about 41% of Michael Penix was very interesting. So does that mean that Jahan Dotson is the true secret to all fantasy success this year? Is he the real answer if we all hate Zachariah Branch?
I think there can be a lot of secrets. I think there can be a lot of ways to skin a cat. I think there can be a lot of ways to win. I feel confident going on record right now on May 7th, 2026. Clip it. Take all the receipts you want. Jahan Dotson will not be the skeleton key to 2026 fantasy football.
Love to hear it.
No, I'm intrigued by Branch. I mean, I do think there's a little room there. You know, Mooney gone. The question is just like, can these guys get the deep ball to him and play to his speed there? So I'm not like as big of a hater in that respect. But yes, I will not be touching Jahan Dotson with a 10-foot pole. Makes
sense. I unfortunately have been touching that. I've gotten the cheese touch a few times, so I pray for my sanity. But once again, I really appreciate this piece. This was awesome. This is already checked off for the summer for me. So really, this was awesome. Quick take on Stroud's playoff performance. We didn't have an offensive line. We'll see if we were able to figure out something.
Well, real quick, first of all, I sent the link to our winner here. GiveDaddyASpike. Feel free to hop on here in a second after I recap this team. Going to get your final thoughts on how this went down. Brock Purdy, Kyler, Fernando Mendoza at quarterback, Tootin, Chuba, Harvey, Jonah Coleman, Ray Davis. So kind of little thin running back room there, but it's got some juice. Justin Jefferson, Devonta Smith, Ladd McConkey, Wandale Robinson, Shakir, my bad, Dejon Stribling, and Elijah Surratt. And then the 3 tight ends, Brock Bowers, Hawkinson, and Dulcich. How did we do?
I mean, ultimately, I like the team. I'm more annoyed with myself for not putting more equity into the running back position a bit earlier. I realistically do like to take a running back in the first 3 rounds, but that's on me. That's not on you at all. So I got greedy with receivers there. But yeah, I think it's a solid team. We'll see how it does. Hopefully we get a bit lucky. A fun thing about me is that of the 2 teams that Sam Sherman got to the best ball finals, of course, one of those had to knock mine out with a Chris Olave touchdown from Taysom Hill. So thank you, Sam.
Well, one final thing before you go, Wells. So this morning I recorded the most of the video, all the voiceover for the announcement of the locks and contenders for So You Think You Can Tell on After Dark last night. 2 of those were kind of revealed. PPR Tyler is a lock if you guys missed it, and BBG earned a contender spot. I'm going to tell you 2 things. You were not in the script in the contenders who made the cut when I recorded this morning. You will not be in the video, but you're a contender. I am officially adding you after the fact. I was very impressed with you today. I was not fully familiar with your game, obviously beyond that submission, which is all I have to go on. But sometimes things happen and you stumble in here randomly and you crush it. And I want to see more of you. So the bad news is you won't be officially in the video. The good news is you will be getting an email about next steps, and you will have a chance to compete in a challenge and continue in this competition.
Well, I really appreciate that, Pete. I'm very, for once, the guy who speaks at a super high rate is at a loss for words. So I really appreciate it, Pete. I couldn't be more grateful to be part of this competition and very excited to see how this kind of goes here.
Beautiful, Wells. It was great meeting you. Good luck on TikTok. And like I said, the people will be seeing more of you in a forthcoming challenge. Make sure you check your email. Otherwise, we'll catch you next time.
Much love, Pete. Talk to you later.
All right. Peace. All right. There he is, looking good. The username GiveDaddyASpike. Can you give me the origin behind that?
Yeah, it's a. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Sweet. Yeah, it's from a college humor sketch. It's like a Jake and Amir thing. It's like a niche reference, and like the punchline is "Give Daddy a bite," and so all my usernames are "Give Daddy a blank." On chess, you can find me "Give Daddy a knight." On here, "Give Daddy a spike." I've just been using that username format for like 10 years.
Awesome. Where, you know, a lot of times in the chat, I recognize usernames. I know you from someplace. I did notice in our Discord DM history, you had been signing up for some Swolecast stuff. So it sounds like you follow that. How did you find this world? Are you a best ball bro? What's your background?
Oh man. So I remember like 5 years ago, my cousin was like unemployed and he was just like a DFS grinder, but no one in my family knew. And he was always telling us about how this is gonna be like the next big thing. And like his buddy's got a site and he's going to sell it. Turns out that guy was the dude who started the solver. And then he just got me to download UNDERDOG and we did like some drafts at a family gathering and I've been hooked ever since. Incredibly unsuccessful for my first season until I got the ETR ranks. And then I started making money. So kind of a plug there. Got the course as well. That helped too.
Oh, nice. The UNDERDOG Masterclass?
Yeah, yeah.
So you've been using like the solver for both best ball and daily stuff?
No, I haven't got the solver yet. I just got the ETR ranks. I kind of like to draft by hand. I think it's more fun, and I don't really like the idea of it like drafting for me that much.
Wait, but did you say it was your partner or the solver founder who got you on here?
No, my cousin was like his roommate or something. It's
okay.
A specious link, but yeah,
great.
I remember he'd always talk about this. He's like, "This is the future. Like, this is gonna be a real big part of gambling." I'm like, dude, would just make a parlay, like get a job, stop grinding this.
Yeah. That's funny. All right. I hopped us in a draft here. We need 4 more people for this best ball mania draft. Let me update the ticker here. We are drafting with GiveDaddyASpike. I got to ask, where are you right now? It feels like you have some sick views.
I do.
Right?
Yeah. This is my apartment. I live in Virginia. So I live in like a apartment next to a neighborhood, so I get no buildings blocking my view. I also got a cat here if you'd like to.
Dude, I love this tour. Guy. What's up, kitty cat? There we go.
This is Onion.
Nice, dude. Yeah, wall to wall windows. Look at all that.
Yeah. It's like a whole 360 thing.
You said you're Virginia. What do you do for work?
Software. So, you know, if you see me looking over, I'm making sure that my boss isn't calling me. Yeah, software. So I'm also trying to do a little bit of fantasy software as well on the side.
Nice. But you know, work from home. You can squeeze in some drafts here and there.
For sure. Yeah, I'm on my lunch hour. It's flexible.
There you go. And how deep in the weeds are you with 2026 best ball? Are you kind of easing into it, or are you blasting off?
I've done like 10 slow drafts, but I'm not very good at best ball. This is like my first time. I did like a lot of dailies. Like I started in the middle of the NFL season last year, like week 3 or 4. So you're gonna have to guide me a little bit here and critique my game.
Okay. No, I'm here. We got the solver. We got some ranks. We got suggestions. We got a know-it-all chat. We have plenty of people who will tell you who the right pick is, and then you can decide what you actually want to do in this draft.
Yeah. And any macro things is I just like to slam running backs at the beginning. I like to get like 2 in the first 3 rounds if I can. It just makes me feel solid. I feel like I have more hope of a wide receiver like climbing up 10 spots like relative to their ADP rather than like I just don't feel so good about a running back I drafted like slot 40. Like they could ever be top 5.
Yeah, I don't think you're alone in feeling that. I mean, even just the team I drafted with Wells, you get put really outside your comfort zone.
Yeah.
You're going to have to make running back selections that make you very uncomfortable when you push the position. Like, so the more you draft early, the comfier it feels. Whether that actually plays out is being the optimal strategy this year will be determined, but it certainly feels comfier.
Yeah, for sure.
Charles referencing in the chat, refreshing to have one touter and one non. I don't want him to necessarily make assumptions about you. Do you have aspirations to be a tout yourself?
No, I'd have no aspirations to be a tout. If I was ever involved in this, it would be on the software side.
Okay. All right, we're about to pick here. You mentioned like in running back, so Lamb, and then there's James Cook, Achane, Barkley, Kenneth Walker, Hampton. Do you have a favorite of those?
Yeah, let's do James Cook here.
Nice. We just were talking some Ray Davis. Let's do some James Cook. I think this might be my first James Cook click of the year so far, so that's fun. You said on the software side, have you ever had any ideas of things you'd like to build for your own fantasy purposes?
Yeah, so I don't want to get ahead of my skis. And also here, if we can get Achane, I'd love to get Achane. And then we can just be cozy at RB. Nope.
Oh,
I shouldn't have said it out loud.
Sorry. Barkley and Walker are nice consolations.
You know what? I haven't been clicking enough Barkley. I'd like to get some Barkley exposure.
All right, let's do it. What were you saying about software projects?
Yeah, so I run I was like, I'm decent at coding. I have some friends that run some games out of spreadsheets. Like I've been running for like 4 years now, like inverse daily fantasy football, if that makes sense. So you want your player to score as few points as possible.
Low ball.
And you are heavily penalized if they never touch the ball. So you can't just play someone on injury or someone that's like a fifth string backup. So me and my buddies, we get together and we're always rooting for the most esoteric players. My favorite is LeKint Allen. I bought a LeKint Allen jersey for the winner of the whole season.
That's incredible. He's
the
poster boy.
He is the GOAT of, I call it fantasy disaster. He is the GOAT of fantasy disaster. And I got a Temu knockoff as well. It looks terrible. It's perfect for that.
Dude, I love that. When I used to do a splash play with Chris Spags, we had a low ball game we would do where we'd kind of alternate back and forth on a lineup with very similar rules. Like you can't they have to play, they have to get some touches to register, but it is with fantasy exploding right now, there is definitely room for a good web app and making some content around that. Like I love that idea.
Yeah, the content would be a little harder. I feel like I don't really want to like market it that hard. I feel like I'm not good at marketing. Yeah, hopefully I can get it into a place where people can like play. Cause I mean, right now we just obviously like play between friends, but to like have a stranger come in, you need to have like a payment system and all that stuff. I live right by Washington, DC, which allegedly you don't even need a license for. So I like the idea of running this contest with like real money in DC with strangers at some point in the future. But right now I'm just taking on, I was in a different pool for a spreadsheet and I'm just trying to like take those in to get a few hundred users just to see if I can run the infrastructure well.
Well, I'll say this, if you do code something up and you do have kind of like a free product people will use, I will give it a tweet and a little promo because I just think it's a cool idea. Similar to my guy, David Kitchen, coding up the the Calcutta app there. And now people starting to mess around with it. My guy, Ben Gretsch, of course, with Omni Fantasy, the multi-sport fantasy contest. Like I think anything that's pushing us into these new spots that aren't, overly solved is
players, by the way. I don't want to run into that.
Yeah, sorry. I'm just rambling. Chris Olave, Garrett Wilson, T. Higgins. We got some wide receivers up here. Kyron and Javante. We are on the clock. Zay Flowers as well.
Oh, Olave just went. I love Olave. Let's keep a green theme. Let's go Garrett Wilson.
Got it. We got James Cook and Barkley, son of Kong. We'll pick twice. That will be back on the clock. 2 running backs, 1 wide receiver. What are you thinking here with this pick at 4-2?
If you snipe Zay, I wouldn't cry, but I think I could lean into Zay.
I love Zay.
2 wide receivers, 2 running backs in the first 2 rounds. I feel pretty solid.
Let's do it. Luther Burden goes ahead of Zay. I cannot abide by that. We will take Zay Flowers here as our wide receiver 2.
Me neither. I'm looking on the ETR ranks and I'm drafting pretty closely to the ranks. And I'm like, if anyone is 10 spots of ADP past their rank, or their rank is 10 places after their ADP, I'm not clicking them. I don't think I've clicked Luther Burden once and then like 20 drafts so far. Okay.
All right. There you go. Yeah. I mean, I think Luther Burden has a spot in the middle of this 4th round. I wouldn't fault people for taking him over Igbuka, Ladd, even some of these guys with more question marks, but it's just a bridge too far over a proven number 1 like Zay and a good offense. You said Virginia, Washington, D.C. Are you from there or a transplant?
A little bit of both. From Virginia and then moved up to Northern Virginia after college. It's a pretty common path for people.
Are you a Commies fan or do you root for
No,
anyone?
Lions. I was born into the Detroit area. So finally it's the golden age after a lifetime of, just sort of hiding in the corner. Now I can proudly wear my Lions gear out in public.
Do you let the laundry ever spill into your fantasy drafting, or are you good at compartmentalizing those two things?
Of course. You should let your laundry bleed into your fantasy stuff. Like, this is an entertainment product after all. Very few people are doing this for like a reliable source of income. And you're soulless if you won't give up a little bit of edge to win when your boys win.
There you go. So we picked James Cook. Amon-Ra went off right before us. Would you have sprinted to the podium for Amon-Ra if he was there?
See, I guess I'm a hypocrite. No. Oh, no. I mean, I would have taken Amon-Ra at that spot, but I like to take the running backs. And I don't feel like we'll be locked out of lines the whole time.
So, yeah, if you get the banner made, it's don't be afraid of your fandom, asterisk, unless it messes up structural best ball drafting strategies.
Exactly. And I'm sure that my Lions fandom will show up in my exposures for sure.
Yeah. And I love, like, you cannot mention the Lions without Yosh just materializing out of thin air, the Eliminator champ and noted Detroit Lions fan. So you're in good company there.
Excellent. Excellent. Yeah, I got to watch the Lions at Commies. My family flew in. We had like a little suite, and I had Gibbs and a bunch of dailies, and he went off for like 30. It was just the best.
Dude, that man, when the IRL sweat hits, that's incredible. I still can't get over the guy who won the DK Millie watching the final Monday Night Football game live, having Bijan being a fan of the Falcons and winning. I think, what was it, 2 million or 3 million, that prize? That is insane. All right, we are about to pick here at 5'11". We got the 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers. What do you like?
We can go DeAndre Swift. I got a bunch of DeAndre Swift, so
there you go.
It'll fit right into my portfolio.
Yeah, he slips 4 picks past ADP. I know ETR has an aggressive rank on him. Let's see here. We are now back on. Solver likes Alec Pierce, Metcalf, Jaden Daniels. What do you like? Tootin's here.
I feel like I have too much Jaden Daniels. Let's go like Brian Thomas.
Sweet. Grab our 3rd wide receiver here. How you feel about the squad so far?
I like it. I like it. We just need a quarterback. We need a sleeper. We need Tyler Shuck.
Wait, where you guys just talk about coming out of the woodwork? You Tyler Shuck naked bros. No Olave in sight. Does not matter. This guy has already drawn little hearts around Tyler Shuck on the ADP board.
Oh, I have my plan. I'm going to smash the dog bowl this year. I'm going to the dog bowl. Shooting my shot now, and I'm a firm believer in a 0 quarterback strategy. Quarterback last round every time. Tyler Shuck. I'm just going to be slamming Tyler Shuck until he has his 30-point breakout. Okay. It's coming. It's coming.
Okay.
He's going to have 2 rushing touchdowns, 2 throwing touchdowns, and I'll meet you in Missouri or wherever it is.
This is crazy because I've met these folks in the chat. I've seen these Tyler Shuck Bowls, the guys who think he's going to rush for 1,000 yards this year. I have never got to encounter one in the wild, face to face. Just this blind optimism for Tyler Shuck. Do you guys have a convention? Do you guys meet weekly? Where does this come from?
I'm a much bigger Tyler Shuck believer for the weeklies. I think he has the upside to pop out a QB 1 week at some point. Tyler Shuck was more of a meme. I was listening to the podcast or this show on last week, and the guy,
you're rage baiting me with my own takes. Is that what just happened?
Yeah. The guy who was the biggest Tyler Shuck guy last week. I'm like, you know what? He's a hero.
Oh my
Let's
God!
start a movement.
I
am a Tyler Shuck believer. You are too.
I am. Hey, don't put that on me. You could call me a Tyler Shuck believer in that I will take him at ADP if I have Olave or Tyson. That's about as far as I'll go. All right. Let's get back on the same page though. We need to
speaking of stacks, where's Trevor Lawrence get drafted? That's a stack.
Pick 85. Our next selection is at 83, so that could work out. We pick at 83 and 86.
Yeah, sure. We could pencil him in.
Okay.
Who else are we stacking with?
Geno is the only other one available for the pass catchers.
Yeah, I'll pass on that.
Yes. But yeah, we should be okay with Lawrence. You never know wherever the Parker Washington bros are at. No, they just pick. So we should be okay. Who knows? Maybe the Tootin drafter. But if not, the best available running backs by ADP were in the Warren, Monangai, Rico. We have Swift, so Monangai not as interesting. Addison, Wilson, Reed, Godwin at wide receiver, Kraft, Fannin at tight end.
Okay, yeah. Reed, I like Kraft. I've been clicking a lot of Kraft, but I feel like the Christian Watson drafter always gets Jordan Love. I was listening to ETR and they're like, I'm ready for some Jordan Love stacks. So I feel like it's too in vogue right now, but I'd love to try and sneak a Kraft Love stack. Maybe I'm thinking like we can do Kraft T-Law now and then try and come back for Love, although I assume everybody in this draft is listening and whoever has Watson is gonna snipe him.
It'll be close because his ADP. Oh no, Kraft just went. So
Perfect.
we can let's get Lawrence first, and now we can kind of talk through this.
Yeah. I don't hate Fannin. I don't hate Addison. Either one of those would be good.
Yeah, I'll put Fannin and Addison in the queue here. We'll get one of them. Both available. Addison has the higher ADP. Which one do you prefer here?
Yeah, let's throw Addison in there.
All right,
let's get two purple wide receivers. We'll match up.
All right. Well. Beautiful. Garrett Wilson, Zay Flowers, Brian Thomas, Jordan Addison. We do have T-Law to Brian Thomas stacked, and then the Cook Barkley Swift, which, as you hinted at the top of the show, feels pretty good right now.
Yeah, I feel nice and cozy up there.
Yeah. Look, you're winning over the chat. You say you don't want to be a tout, but Heath Jones says I love these guys' takes. I'm a Saints fan, and my most drafted guy last year was Shaq. He's not a reliable narrator though, so I don't know.
Who was my most drafted last year? Oh, I don't know. It's hard to go back. Sometimes I feel like the leak in my game. Like I play a lot of chess too, and I'm like, it's hard to watch yourself like go back and critique your mistakes. Like that's really how you improve at something. Like filming your workouts, stuff like that. It's terrible. I don't want to watch myself fail, but if you really want to be successful, you have to. And that's probably one of the things that's holding me back from like being better at fantasy football.
Yeah. I mean, it also, you seem like you seem like a well-balanced individual. You don't strike me as someone who's just going to be entirely consumed by fantasy football, though maybe that's a bad read.
No, yeah, I tend to get consumed by things. I go in waves, like when I'm trying to max out the BR by hand, it can take a lot of time.
I love that you're in the BR streets grinding away with us. It sounds like you're already excited for 2026.
I am, although golf has been quite lucrative.
Okay.
PGA has been fun. ETR just started touting PGA stuff. I'm like, whatever, I'll give it a chance. And I think I won like $1,000 my first week off like a $500 entry. And I was like, this is great. Now I like golf. I got ESPN Plus. I'm watching golf during the day.
Very nice. Best Ball Chosen, who's also a chess player, wants to know your ELO rating.
ELO over the board. I'm like 1650. I play Elite Chess Rapid. I oscillate between like 1900 and 2100.
Okay. He also said the word oscillate, which I think you can add about 50 points to his score, having that one in the vocabulary there. We got lots of good chess players in the community. Chosen, I know Chad Candles is a really strong chess player as well. We actually have a chess channel in the Deposit Kingdom Discord.
Yeah, I saw that, but it wasn't too full. There wasn't a lot of traction there.
Well, my origin stories with Liam is he was my chess coach, and I think it was around COVID, was very bored with content, and he pitched me on teaching me lessons where I failed miserably on camera in front of everyone, and he would give me chess homework, puzzles to do. I think I improved a little bit, but ultimately I didn't have the passion to really put in the work.
Yeah. Let's see. We're on the clock.
You want to do Kyler with Addison? Your guy Goff's
sure,
here.
Let's do Kyler with Addison.
Okay.
And then should we think about a tight end? I don't want to have a 0 in my lineup this late.
Let's see. So yeah, you're looking, I mean, we did kind of miss a tier break here with Kraft and Fannin going. I kind of find this Gadsden, Ferguson, Kelsey, Andrews, Kincaid to be a little similar. So I wouldn't mind waiting there, but if there's a guy you like, I mean, go get your guy.
We can wait. It'll be back. We can always fix it later. We can do Ricky Pearsall or Chris Rodriguez, wide receiver or running back, whichever one you want.
Let's see here. Let's do Pearsall. We can do Pearsall.
Sweet.
I mean, it doesn't give us another stacking thing, but I think getting that 5th wide receiver, I think the Ricky Pearsall fall is crazy. He's down to 110 right now. I assume it's directly in relation to Stribling. Buzz, I think Stribling can both be a decent late round pick, and Ricky Pearsall can still be a pick. I don't think those have to be negatively correlated, so I'm happy to scoop that up.
No, I agree. I think that the 49ers are going to have the floor is like a mids offense, and like the ceiling's a pretty successful one. So to get receiver exposure there would be pretty fun.
Chat is impressed with your chess skills. I mean, do you have any other hidden talents? You're taking on fantasy football. There's chess. There's software. What else do you get obsessed with?
I had a fitness obsession a year ago where I bet my buddy $2,500 that I could dunk a basketball that year. So he said that he was trying to dunk a basketball. I had always wanted to try, and we're both like 6 feet tall, and so we made a bet where if one of us dunked and the other one didn't, the loser had to pay the winner $2,500. He's like a Wall Street sicko. He's into this kind of like high stakes stuff. And I'm a degenerate gambler too.
Yeah.
So I dunked, he didn't, and he paid me. And not only did I like physically get to achieve my goal, I got the money too. He paid for 2 years of our ski trip we go on.
Dude, that is it. So tell me what, like, where were you at? Like, for instance, I can get to about here on the rim with my palm right now. I can probably do it with like a ping pong ball, but I can't like both grip the basketball and do it. So like, where were you at before you got to it, and what did your training look like?
Before, I was probably at my heaviest, which is like 195, 200 pounds, was barely touching rim. And the training looks like, it's called like the Jump Bible. It's like a PDF from 2005. And it basically just has these workouts that is, half of it is strength. So like how much muscle how much weight can you move for like a squat? So you want to be increasing your squats and deadlifts as much as you can. The other half is sort of like activation time. Like how fast can you apply this force? And then the third piece, I guess, would be technique. So a lot of squats, a lot of deadlifts all the time. A lot of like box jumps are just like sitting down and going from sitting to jumping as fast as you can. When you do your reps, you're trying to like explode as much as you can. And then the form is definitely the hardest part. I'm incredibly uncoordinated. I never played like a ball sport growing up, just track.
Did you go 1 foot jump or 2
feet?
2 foot. Yeah.
2 foot. And I can't palm either, so that was a little difficult, but got it done. Just
that's
crazy
impressive.
Squats.
2 feet is tricky there, but I assume you were standing flat footed and going from there. No like dribbling momentum.
No, you get a run up.
Like, okay. Then you just stopped, gathered.
Like you do your steps sort of like a high jump, like run up. Sweet. Cater Ferguson, I like them both.
Yeah. Let's see here. ADP. I mean, Ferg has fallen a little bit. That seems good to me.
Yeah, let's do Ferg.
All right, we'll grab Ferguson here, and then we will see what we are going to do at pick 134.
I'm a huge Malik Willis fan. I also like Gainwell a lot. Picked them both up in Dynasty. I traded away a lot of picks to get Fab. Everybody was clowning me, and now Malik Willis is the in-season, like single-season QB21, so I'm sitting pretty in Dynasty. I'm yapping too much. Let's go Kenneth Gainwell. We already have Malik Willis, but shorter.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think where this build is at, getting that fourth running back, you got, I mean, Lawrence Murray's a solid duo, and maybe I can talk you into a cheap Geno Smith if we need to.
Sweet.
How tall am I? I'm 6'1". How tall are you?
6'2".
6'2". Yeah, so you had a nice little start there. How tall was your buddy?
He's like 6 foot.
Okay, gotcha.
And but he can palm. He's got big hands, so it was fair.
Have you maintained it, or
no, not at all, dude? I stopped drinking because I'm like everything. I did it in like December, and like I had to do it before the end of the year. I did it like December 11th or something, and so like in the months leading up to that, I'm like, I really need to get this done. I need to be serious about my health. I need to be incredibly like devoted to this. And afterwards, I'm like, I'm gonna take a week off, and then I'm like, man, I don't really miss the intense gym schedule, so never really got back to it.
Yeah, I mean, that's it's fun though to have that built-in excuse. Like you said, it was a goal of yours. I've always had that one too, and I wish that I had the financial incentive to go all in for that. So that's pretty sick.
Yeah, it kills me inside that I couldn't achieve my lifetime goal except for a bet with my friend. I wish I could just find the fire motivation inside me otherwise.
I think too, though, like what I struggle with health and fitness stuff is I like variety so much. You know, I like running, I like lifting, I like doing yoga, I like, you know, so it's like you're never going to be like really good at one thing if you just devoted all of your time to it. So in these prop bets, like you said, you're kind of forced. Like everything I do is going to optimize for this specific goal,
Right.
which is cool what you can accomplish, but the variety and the additional benefits of having kind of a multifaceted training routine are lost.
Yeah, for sure. Although it did definitely help my other sports. Like I'm in like a beer kickball league, and like being able to deadlift like 3 or 4 plates, like you can really boot that thing super far. It's pretty funny.
Well, there you go. Did he try to challenge you for any double or nothings or run back another prop bet?
No, we haven't done anything like that since, and he's just been crushing me in fantasy. So I'll have to find something else I can beat him in.
There you go. There you go. Well, yeah, if you guys come up with any cool prop bets, definitely keep us posted.
Yeah, should be good content. Maybe I can be a tout. Maybe I do think I can tout.
There you go. I don't know, man. I think you're pretty smooth. You're a fast talker like Wells. You got some takes here. I mean, you draft a lot. All you have to do is start, hitting the hot takes. You kind of already did with the fake Tyler Shuck hot take. I think you're almost there.
Yeah, no, I just can't start making TikToks. I write software, no TikTok. I'll come to you with a finished product if you want to play the silly inverse fantasy football. Football
I love
season.
it. All right, we're about to pick for our audio listeners. We got Trevor Lawrence and Kyler at quarterback, James Cook, Barkley, DeAndre Swift, Kenneth Gainwell at running back, 5 wide receivers, Garrett Wilson, Zay Flowers, Brian Thomas, Jordan Addison, and Ricky Pearsall, tight end, Jake Ferguson. About to pick here at the end of the 13th round. What are you looking at?
I feel like if we get Cam Ward, we could find a stacking partner later.
Yep.
Anything wrong with that?
No, not at all. Cam Ward, yeah, I mean, this is the last call for these quarterbacks who are going to play.
Yeah. What wide receivers do we have on Indy left? Could we stack someone there?
Indy wide receivers late are pretty barren.
Down's already gone. Yeah, okay, never mind. I don't want Nick Westbrook. Let's click Cam Ward and we can stack him later.
All right, we're going to do Cam Ward here. This is where you get to see your opinions on Travis Hunter, because you do have Trevor Lawrence. Calvin Ridley could stack with Ward. Spears ties in with Ward, and then Brian Robinson, another strong.
Yeah, do we have to go Ridley right now? Let's do Ridley. Or
we don't have to, but we can.
We don't have to? Sure, let's do it. We're on the clock.
All right, Ridley, ADP 178, so we are ahead. If you have another selection, I can do it quickly, but
let's do Ridley.
All right.
And then we can also sneak in Gunnar Helm too.
There you go.
Which, by the way, I have so many takes on Gunnar Helm as a low ball player. And additionally, my buddy drafted him in Dynasty, and we had like a few $100s on the Chigakonko versus Gunnar Helm total season points, which was shockingly close. It was down to like 3 points for the last game. They both scored like 50. It was tough, but it was closer than it should have been. And I know the per route run yard real spreadsheet lovers think highly of Helm.
That was that reminds me of like when I had bets with Karain where it was like my Darius Slayton versus his Wan'Dale Robinson, or my Davis one was my Cam Akers versus his Carson Steele. I want to say those inconsequential bets where you get legitimate sweat equity out of it down the stretch are very fun.
Yeah, you can find a way to have fun with the players that even the like fans of the team don't know.
Yes. All right. This is what we're going to do. You got 4 more picks left. We do have time to do a third draft with a YouTube member. So I'm going to spin this wheel here to figure out who's coming up after we wrap this up. So let's draw again. If your name comes up, I will send you the link. And when I'm done with Give Daddy a Spike, you will be on deck. Best Ball Alec. He has been on After Dark a couple months ago, and now we'll hop on to draft a team with me. Congratulations, Alec. Shoot me a message, and I will get you that link.
Yeah, really happy to be on it. It's my first time like joining the chat live. You know, it's hard to focus on work when I'm like got the podcast stuff in the background, so I usually watch it after the fact or something.
Yeah, and you were in the chat right at the beginning. You said you generally are an audio listener, so you didn't know about the StreamYard tick there. There you go. Yes, well, I do have to, I do remind people on Best Ball Breakfast that I'll always service the audio listeners. But you mentioned Spotify. I will say, like, I never, do a ton of call to ask, subscribe here, whatever. If you do listen on Spotify, I would love a review. It's actually crazy how much organic growth is happening on their platform right now, like way more than Apple Podcasts. And it's specifically because they are supporting video and they're really pushing it out there. We've had a ton of growth on the ship chasing Spotify feed where it's almost going to surpass our YouTube views at this point. So I will say this, if you are a Spotify individual, I would love you to rate and review it or whatever they even do over there, because it will help us continue to find new listeners.
Yeah, you got to change your profile pic. It's insane.
What
it's
is
like
it?
you in a vacuum.
Oh,
it doesn't even look like you. You got to change that. Look, like this design of the stream is so good, and I look at in the vacuum, and it just doesn't.
You know what?
Have the same.
I'm not changing the podcast name, but you are right that I'm probably due for a refresh of that concept. Yeah. All right. Brian Robinson's still here. Spears. I think both of those make a ton of sense on this squad for different reasons. We could also look at tight ends, Schultz, Stowers, Otten.
Let's queue up Spears. Oh, nope, we can't.
Spears,
so let's queue up Schultz.
Let's grab Schultz here. All right, we'll get Schultz as our tight end 2. Yeah, no, the In a Vacuum podcast feed album cover art. It's so old that someone made it for me, and I forgive me because I don't remember, but this was like COVID era. Who do you want here?
I don't see any problems with Brian Robinson.
I think he's just so undervalued at this spot. I mean, he's past ADP. We know what his role is.
Too. We have both the gunshot wound people.
Yes,
coming back with a vengeance, 50 Cent style.
Double gunshot wound. But I was just gonna say that it was so old. Like now, I have some awesome designers, editors, and stuff. When I need logos, when I need branding, I work with them. This was so old. This was way before I can even afford paying someone to make me a good logo, and someone just emailed me a Photoshop on the internet. I made it the art, and I have not updated it. In fact, I have not even thought about it until you said it. And I honestly think that's good feedback that you're saying it looks a little Mickey Mousey, this production, due to my album art.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think you can get
it.
more clicks if you change it. And then also, I don't know if it's automated or whatever, but sometimes the show on Friday I listen to, and then sometimes it like gets published on Spotify like late on Saturday. I don't really have time to like.
Which show?
What's the in-season show on Friday with Off and On the Clock?
Yeah. We do Off and On the Clock, and I do the it was the Block Party and Bully the Sim show, the DFS one.
Yeah, the Friday morning one sometimes doesn't get put up as like soon as I would like to, because I want to like get my drafts done on Saturday, so I want to like listen to that on Saturday morning. So then I have to like do YouTube on my phone instead of Spotify. I'm like spending data, and I can't like close my phone and just listen to it.
Well, it's interesting. So what I generally try to do, this is probably boring for most people, but whatever, you're giving me valuable feedback as a consumer. I generally just schedule the audio from the previous day or video audio to go at like 5:30 a.m., hit the podcast feeds. In season, because the content on Friday becomes so unevergreen quickly, I generally just publish it. I believe I try to publish it right away. Maybe I don't, maybe it waits. But yeah, it's hard to standardize it while also giving people the content right away if it's gonna, go stale.
Yeah, of course, and it's all super timely. I like to listen to Off and On the Clock and then get a lot of drafts done on Saturday. But sometimes, I've seen the drafts close pretty early on Saturday. I'm like, It's Saturday at 6 p.m. Like, got some time before plans at night. Let me get some drafts in. I'm locked out. I got to go spend $100 on the bomb.
That's right. Yeah. I mean, the enthusiasm and the hunger for the Dog Bowl drafts this year, because I even lamented it because I like on Sundays get around, draft a few of those. And there were a lot of weeks that it had filled well before a Sunday morning.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Best Ball Alec, did you message me? I got to go check some DMs here. But I will get you this link if not. We got 2 more picks here though. We got a 3-5-6-2, pretty balanced. What? Probably another wide receiver and another tight end would just be my.
Yeah, we earmarked Gunnar Helm, I believe.
Oh, you're right. It's he's gone.
What the hell? You guys are haters.
I know, man.
You're sniping my stuff. Let's think. Let's stack. I never stack enough. That's definitely my leak. Even if it's a bad stack.
Who do you want to stack it with?
Just anybody.
Let's see. We are on the clock here.
You know, we can. I can live with Fryermuth or Stowers. Stacks be damned.
All right. You want to do some Stowers? Get a little upside in here.
Yeah, sure.
All right. Boom. Eli Stowers come on down.
You want to get a wide receiver?
Yeah. So looking at stacking, I mean, Jacksonville's kind of wiped. Minnesota is kind of wiped. Cam Ward. I mean, there's some stuff there. Did you mention Dell too? Was that your guy?
Any stack at this point. Throw it in.
Well, someone said got to take Dell for.
Tank Dell for all gunshot. Love it. All gunshot team.
There you go.
Tank Dell got shot.
Yeah, man. I love hearing your keyboard right away. Getting to the bottom. Can't confirm. Can't confirm. I think outside of a nightclub was the story on that.
That's a bummer.
Okay. Here is the final squad. Alec, last call here. Otherwise, I am going to spin again. I do not see a DM from you on either platform, so you guys might be live to still get one. This is what we're gonna do. I'm gonna spin. You are an alternate for the next 2 minutes until we're done recapping this team. If Alex steps forward before then, he's going to come on. If not, you are stepping in. So that's how this is going to work. But I want to make sure somebody else is prepared to come on. Don't be mad at me if Alec comes out of the woodwork in the next 2 minutes. If not, it will be Best Ball Chosen. Oh my God. Oh my God. This is what happens. This is what happens. All right. All right. Best Ball Chosen, who Mickey Moused his way into the So You Think You Could Tout competition. Incredible. Incredible. Okay. Here's the team, brother. This is what we did. Trevor Lawrence, Kyler Murray, Cam Ward, James Cook, Saquon Barkley, DeAndre Swift, Kenneth Gainwell, Brian Robinson, Garrett Wilson, Zay Flowers, Brian Thomas, Jordan Addison, Ricky Pearsall, Calvin Ridley, Tank Dell, and then Jake Ferguson, Dalton Schultz, Eli Stowers. How did we do?
Pretty good. I'm just hoping Jordan Addison doesn't get shot soon. Knowing his,
knowing his MO,
record, yeah,
sounds like he might be in the mix somehow.
Yeah, can you save this as the all gunshot squad?
For sure.
Thank you very much. Well, it was a pleasure being on the stream,
dude. It was a pleasure meeting. I don't know. Sorry, did you dox your first name or you just?
No, you can call me McLean.
McLean. Okay.
McLean. I'm on Discord. If you ever see me posting in the chat, McLean Money. And if I say something weird, I was probably drinking. So don't think I'm a weird guy.
Dude, no, I loved your vibes. I love getting to put some new faces to usernames here. Everybody enjoyed you in the chat. We drafted a good team. Love hearing that you're a DFS daily grinder as well. All good stuff, man.
All right. See you later, Pete.
All right. We'll see you. All right. Best Ball Chosen. I think it's you, brother. I think it's you. No messages from Alec. Alec must have had his name in the chat for that first spot and did not come on. So it's you, brother. Send me a message. As I always mention, I will be having these every Thursday. I'm not going to be the weekend or the Thursday before Memorial Day weekend. I will not be here. I will be out of town. But otherwise, you can plan on Thursdays, noon Eastern. Like I said, we're going to settle into that regular time. No moving the slots. Every Thursday, noon Eastern. You can bank on the Best Ball Bash here. Probably able to get in 3 drafts most days. I'm swamped today trying to get out multiple videos. Here he is.
Here we
Here
are.
he is. The So You Can Tout contender, BBChosen.
I think I'm going to do this all on a walk. I could go in my car, but everyone's going to laugh at me. So we're going to be doing this. How are we doing?
As long as your audio and video stays good, that works for me.
Is it good right now?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Here's the deal. I'm going to enter into a draft. Normally I wouldn't do this to a Best Ball Bash guest. Normally I would maybe do this to Corain or Best Ball Breakfast, but I have to go to the bathroom. And if you're going to be a contender, you're going to have to learn how to vamp without the host. So entertain the chat for the next couple of minutes.
Sounds great. Well, I'll first do some shameless promoting. If you guys haven't seen it yet, it's I mean, Pete reposted it. It's on his X. We just did a great Who's Laden video. If you haven't seen what that is, basically somebody gets picked, and you try and just guess whatever number they're thinking of. So one of the things that we came up with was how many DUIs do all the So You Think You Can Tout applicants have as a whole? And I think one of us said like 17 or something like that. It's pretty interesting. You guys should come in and watch it. And then I need to call you out, Emo Cowboy. You gave me a 3? A 3? Pat gave me a 5. What in the world? What's your problem? I never did anything to you.
All right. So I'd ask what you got up to while I was gone, but I heard it. A very long-winded plug. Is that all you got, Chosen?
Well, I mean, you were gone, so I might as well plug.
All right. We got the 112 here. So are you saying that you're now feeling a little insecure about the comments of only broadcasting from your car, that you're trying to mix that up?
I mean, that's what they're saying.
Mm-hmm. And it's clearly gotten to you, right? Because I mean, I mentioned broadcasting. So to me, there's two elements to it. The broadcasting, or not broadcasting, making a video from your car is kind of low effort. Like, hey, this is just where I am. I think broadcasting from your car during the bash or on a stream, because it's the one place you can go that's quiet and all that, I think that's fair game.
Well, if that's true, I just didn't want to keep on getting all the allegations, but I would much rather just be in my car than go on a walk.
Go. You need to do you. You need to live your truth. But my comments about the car were only in relation to the official submission.
All right, I'm going.
All right, here we go. All right, we got the 112 here. See some friends and family. Let me update the ticker here. We are drafting with BBChosen. You called your shot. You said, I'll take his spot. And then the wheel agreed with you.
Dude, it was actually a little bit crazy. I was like, dude, I'm getting on. I'm getting on. And then I got on. So.
Dat Mavis wants to know, where in Oregon do you live? Are you willing to dox yourself on location?
So currently I'm here in Eugene. So if y'all are over here in Eugene, come and say hi or fight me or something like that. But
Nike territory, right?
Yeah.
All right. Just do it, brother. Just do it. All right. What are you eyeing at the turn? I know you can't see the draft board, so I will make sure I fill you in on this. Top of the board is all running backs. We are on the clock. James Cook, H.N. Barkley, Kenneth Walker, Hampton, Neighbors, Henry.
Let's do James Cook.
All right. James Cook's going to be the first pick. I will use the clock here so you can think about this next one. H.N. Barkley, Walker, Hampton, Neighbors, Henry.
We're gonna be fun. We're gonna pull up Brock Bowers.
Whoa, okay. Someone already messing with their solver combinatorial ownership here. All right. Yes, I do not have any James Cook with Brock Bowers. That's for sure. Let's do it.
There we go.
Is this a move you've been doing in your own drafts, or are you just getting fancy with my site credits?
Well, so I've been trying actually to get Brock Bowers on some of these, first/second round RBs that he's not going to be on a lot of those teams. So I just did one pretty recently with Brock Bowers and Ashton Genty, and I liked it quite a bit, just kind of stacking up the Las Vegas offense and kind of saying, it's going to be a much better offense this year. But yeah, I mean, I think that Bowers is super solid, and I think he's kind of a fun pick to put on some of these, more unique teams.
Yeah, I mean, I think in normal landscapes, or I guess in previous years' landscapes, like doing these moves seemed completely fair play to me, partly because this has generally been a range for the wide receivers. I mean, we've had so many years where it's, a lot of yellow around here. This year, it does feel like you can get into trouble a little bit passing on some of these running backs, but you start with James Cook. I think you can pull it off. I'll be curious to see what running back options we have at the 3-4 turn.
Yeah, if we even go running back, that 3-4 turn right there. I mean, if someone does fall, then that's great. But I don't really like the
Kyron, Javonte.
Yeah, I don't like the Kyron Javonte. Bucky's all right. I actually prefer Bucky over the other two, but that's pretty.
So talk for people. I assume a lot of people saw Best Ball Breakfast. You did a little response to it, but walk through your play-by-play when you heard what was going down with the vote, obviously winning the vote. What was your reaction?
So it was crazy. So I hopped on. I think I got on a little bit late to the stream, and then I hear, there's this thing we're going to be voting on 4 people. I'm like, oh, this is going to be interesting. I wonder who it's going to be. So that, we get there, and the first person, oh, this guy, he can't even meet the deadline. And oh my goodness, the next guy was even worse. That was terrible. Actually, the first guy was pretty good, but again, he missed the deadline, so I wasn't going to vote for him. And then lo and behold, I find that it's me. I'm number 3. And so I start getting in the chat like, oh, I love you guys. Dude, please vote for me. Oh my goodness. And then when I realized, dude, so I think that I gifted a membership right after Todd from PA. We went over him, and then the voting started. And I was like, bro, I gotta do something. And so I pull it up. Like $7 for a membership, and I was gonna do 5, but I thought it was gonna be like $25. But I was like, I can't be doing that. And so I did a $7 membership for one person, but it ended up working out. It's kind of like when people are telling stories about how they met their spouse, and they're like, oh, he did this on the first date. Like, what? Who does this? But I mean, it worked. So like, who's gonna complain?
All right, I got follow-ups on that, but we're now on the clock. Kyron, T. Higgins, Javonte, Zay, Igbuka, Ladd, Bucky at the turn.
Okay. I have no Kyron this at all, so I'm gonna eat my vegetable, and we're gonna take one.
Gotcha. Yeah.
one share of Kyron.
Okay. Happy to help you diversify. What other pick would you like? T, Javonte, Zay, Igbuka, Ladd.
We're gonna take Javonte too. We're gonna just do the gross, yucky stuff today.
Jeez, it's funny how that works. That everyone's just like, oh, let me do the things that I shouldn't be doing, or the things I don't want to do on my own on Pete's account. It's funny how that works.
I mean, what can I say?
Well, here's what I actually have a question for you, because I didn't realize this. When I had last checked, it like only allowed you to gift the lowest level membership. Are you saying it now gives you the option to gift a specific level membership?
No, like the only level of membership was like $7.99 that I could gift.
Really?
That I saw.
Well, I mean, that's good. I got an extra few bucks out of you. But I thought it used to be, maybe someone in the chat who's gifted memberships can tell me. I thought it used to be it like would only allow you to gift the lowest membership, which didn't include that. And so I don't know.
I think the lowest member is, I think YouTube's just raised their prices or something. But
well, they didn't tell me about that. All right, I'll look into that. Jeez, learning a lot today. Got to update my Spotify avatar. Got to look into the YouTube memberships, as if I have time for any more stuff. BBChosen. So walk us through. You gift out the membership. The votes are coming in. What was the sweat like?
I mean, it was a sweat for like 3 seconds. Like it was just a wall of threes. There was nothing else. Like I think I shot up to like 69%. Nice. Like almost immediately. So I mean, I gifted the membership, and I was just super ecstatic. And then that day, I texted a couple of the guys that were also like trying to apply into the competition. Like, does anyone want to call? Like, none of my family knows what the heck is going on, but this is like such a high. Like, I just wanted to talk to someone, but it didn't, nothing ended up working out. But it was super cool.
Were you, when you saw Angry Dragon's submission, were you getting a little worried?
Well, so I wasn't worried at all until I didn't have time to be worried, because I didn't realize that I was going to be the third person on the list. So, okay. But no, all in all, I mean, I thought that his application was decent, but I feel like there are a couple things that need to be factored in. Like, I feel like I was like the 7th or 8th person to apply for the competition and all, and that it took him like it took him that long to make that application. Like I feel like there's some waiting right there. But
no, I mean, I don't think, I think the chat did clearly wait it, because I think objectively it was like, if no one knew any context and they watched those submissions, they probably would have picked Angry Dragon, but there was context. I gave context that he submitted late after the fact. And people had context on your submission that, you know, was reviewed by Mayo, etc. So there was context, and I think the people accounted for that.
Yeah, for sure.
Real quick, just to put a bow on this YouTube membership thing, because the chat was troubleshooting for me. Chad says Apple charges an extra $2 that the creator doesn't get if you do stuff on the app. You can avoid it by opening the stream in Chrome and requesting desktop site, then joining and gifting, because other people say $4.99 on Android stuff. So we solved that. It's fucking Apple who's trying to steal from all of us.
Gotcha. Okay. I'm just a casual.
Okay, real quick. By ADP, we're on the clock. Rome, Jadarian Price, Touton, Tyson.
We're gonna pick up Rome. I have very little Rome, and I'm not feeling good about it. And again, for the bit, like all these guys that I have super low owned, we're gonna be cramming them in here.
All right, yeah, love that idea of just thinking this island of misfit toys team is going to take us to millionaire land. What pick do you want now? Price, Touton, Tyson, Thomas, Daniels, Harrison, Chuba.
We're gonna take Price.
Jadarian Price.
That's someone I actually feel really good about. I love Price.
As a Seahawks fan, are you trustworthy?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, that wasn't very convincing.
So I wanted to ask you, Pete. So can you walk me through maybe kind of like your planning, your scheming, your conniving about yesterday? Like what was how when did you text Rick? What's going on in your head? Like, man, this would be hilarious if I tell BBG he's in and then out. And then I also wanted to ask, this is a long question, but what were you gonna do if BBG said, I want the bad news first? Were you just gonna kick him off and not tell him he's getting on?
No, I would have said the bad news is you're about to get off this stream, and then he would have been like, "Well, what's the good news?" And I would have told him. But yes,
okay,
that would have been funny. So 2 levels to behind the curtain macro. I want this show to have lots of surprises, lots of twists, lots of turns, and I also want it to exist on a few different levels. There's going to be the show itself, the highly produced episodes. We're going to have this locks and contenders ep come out. There's that. But then I want it to exist on this level live, where votes are happening at the end of Best Ball Breakfast. There's live streams happening. I just gave Wells Fournie off the cuff. I had no clue he was winning. I had no clue he would impress me. I just gave him a spot. So I want this live element, this other kind of meta layer to the show to be happening in real time for people. So I've been thinking about twists and turns. And then it was just a natural extension of this beef, right? That's been going on with Rick, the Toxic Tower guys. It kind of shifted over from PPR Tyler. You know, we had the episode, but then over to Emo. And Emo is someone who I need to see more from him. His submission got panned by Mayo. I thought the submission was creative, but it still didn't tell us a lot about the competition. And I've wanted to put him in a few other spots and see how he did. I wanted to see, can you beef in a fun way? Can you be entertaining? Can you roll with the punches and all of that stuff? So we're in the information gathering period. So not only are there challenges, but it helps us actually figure out, is this person right for the show?
And are you able to say, what did you think about last night? How did you think it went?
So I will say this, because I don't want to undercut the video. We are going to be putting out, like, my editor, Zach, just sent something over while I was online or on stream here. I'm going to review that immediately after this draft. We're going to get that up. It is a highlight video from last night that's going to go on the channel. It does have some commentary and setup from me. So you can get a little bit of my thoughts on it in that video. But I would say I was more surprised by the reaction than how it went. I will say is what surprised me the most, how the fans processed it. What was your read on it?
Man, I don't know necessarily. It was quite it was super interesting. There were some times where it's like right on the edge of like almost being like, man, this is super duper uncomfortable. Like I'm almost cringing a little bit, but I couldn't look away. So all in all, I think that just the retention alone was probably phenomenal on the video, which I think is probably what you're looking for all in all. So
Well, for that bit, I mean, that's members only. You're not trying to game the algo. We're just
Sure.
trying to have some fun, provide some entertainment. But I will say, I was equal parts watching in the back of the hopper. Also, I had the pleasure of seeing because BBG and PPR Tyler didn't hop off the call. Their video boxes were down there. So I was having just as much fun looking at their reactions live as that. But let's keep talking about this in a sec. We're on the clock. DK Metcalf, Fannin, RJ Harvey, Sutton, Lawrence, Reed, Manungai. What do you want to do?
We're taking Metcalf. We're gonna need him. We're gonna need like the top 20% outcome for him in order for this team to work at all. So I'm not.
Right. We get our second wide receiver here: Sutton, Jaden Reed, Jacoby, Rico at running back, Lawrence, Dart at quarterback.
Okay, another person that I really, really don't like at all is Cortland Sutton, and we're gonna bring him down.
Yeah, we got to keep getting wide receivers here on this build, so we're up to 3 here. But yes, last night was very fun for me. I think I was, to use a word from our previous guest, oscillating between cringe and dying laughing, which I think was kind of what we all witnessed.
Yeah. I mean, that's a pretty good summation right there.
Chad says, yeah, BBG and PPR Tyler Interstellar yelling at Eva the whole time is a great bit. There was a lot. It was actually PPR Tyler was way more emotive. BBG was certainly in his feels, I think, about it. But yes, that was very fun. Someone had asked, Go Easy Cards has a question for you. He says, do you know your tout angle yet, and or have you changed it with all the reviews in content? And I will just preface, I didn't necessarily think that I guess having an angle makes sense. It's just an interesting word choice. But do you have a thought to that response?
Well, so one of the things that I think watching the Pat Mayo review at the end, one of the things that he said, which I thought is very true, is that he just needs a lot more reps, and I would agree. So I don't know necessarily like if there's like a particular like angle or way that I want to portray myself. I really just kind of want to be myself, but in a way that is interesting, isn't just monotone the entire time and just, you know, whatever. So I really am just trying to get in those reps, and you know, we'll see. I've been taking a lot of constructive criticism and doing my best to make it more and more interesting, and you know, we'll see.
Yeah, and I think, you know, I think I've mentioned this note. This isn't just for you, it's for everybody. I always think of this phrase, you know how when they say like the camera, you know, adds 10 pounds as a joke. I always think the camera for video and broadcasting, it sucks 10% of the energy out. Like if you think you're at this level, the viewer is actually seeing it at, you know, 90 or 80% of that. So you need to give the 110, 115%. It honestly feels weird. It feels like I'm gesticulating and overperforming right now, but the energy gets drained by the camera in a way it normalizes. And then they just view you as, oh yeah, you're energetic, you're passionate. And so to me, I think you have the charisma and the energy to get there. I think you're just totally being yourself and haven't realized that you have to flip that switch to play a slightly heightened version, an energy level of yourself. And if you can get to that point, I think you'll be really impressed at how much more captivating you will be as an online persona.
Well, I really appreciate that, Pete. What was for you? Was there like a time where you realized that and then you like did something, or is it just kind of like a subconscious, like you just keep on working at it, you get enough reps, and then you're there?
That's a good question. We'll talk about it after.
Do we have Bo Nix falling to us for the stack?
Yeah. Bo Nix did fall all the way to the stack here. So I'll let the clock burn so we can figure out what we want to do with this next one.
Bo Nix, and I think we'll do Michael Pittman as well.
Yeah, so we'll get a second Pittsburgh guy. Definitely makes sense to try to grab some targets on a team with only 3 wide receivers here through 10 rounds.
Yeah, especially so with the Pittsburgh thing, it's looking like the blurbs are getting even better that Aaron Rodgers goes on Pittsburgh. So I think it's possible that they will get more expensive. And so I don't mind picking them up at their ADP values right here. And then Aaron Rodgers could be a really nice stack at the end.
That is the news today. Aaron Rodgers expected to sign. Here's the team so far. We got Bo Nix, James Cook, Kyron, Javonte, Jadarian Price, Roma Dunze, DK Metcalf, Sutton, Pittman, Brock Bowers. So catching up at wide receiver, but the Sutton Pittman helping us out there. To answer your question, there is, and this is something I have been saying recently, that there is just no shortcut for reps. By being on camera over and over again, you naturally get more confident. And when you get more confident, it's a little easier to lean into what you're going to say. Like, imagine if you were talking to someone and you were having a big argument and you were like very passionate. It's like easy for that to come out. But if you were just having like a regular conversation or whatever, you might be a little bit more timid. And in that way, if you're timid on stream or you don't have those reps and you're not comfortable, you're probably going to default to a lower energy level. Like being energetic, exudes confidence. And to get to that level of confidence where you feel comfortable, it's just reps. It really is. And I do think the one thing I always say too for people is like, you're not going to become smarter. You're not going to become funnier. Your personality is not going to change, but you can get better on camera just by doing it over and over again. I don't care who you are. If you do this every single day, like I'll give a shout out to Who Hames, who's been doing a lot of streams. I believe he was on the Bash like last year. He's made massive strides as a broadcaster just by doing it over and over again. He's still the same guy, still has a lot of the same takes, and yet I find him more compelling simply because there's a little more confidence there from the reps.
I'm streaming with him Monday, 4 p.m. Central.
There you go. Who's
yeah, so I love him.
But I think what you guys are doing with the Tout House, everybody who's streaming, like even if people aren't tuning in droves, even if it feels like you're shouting into the void, what you're actually doing is getting reps. You're getting those valuable reps that will help you out down the road.
Have you noticed, like I know it's so long ago, but like being able to interact with chat or anything like that, do you feel that helped your ability to kind of like, play along or whatever?
I think it's when you get to a level where you're comfortable, it's a godsend, right? Because it's a constant stream of fodder
content
to interact with, and you don't just have to vamp on the picks or whatever. Like you can play off of, and it gives you an idea of what is the chat enjoying,
what they're
what's
thinking,
the hot topic. However, I think early on it can be really distracting. And if you haven't gotten to the place where you can juggle those things, your broadcasting might suffer if you're spending a lot of time reading the chat. Khalil Shakur, Chris Rodriguez, Jalen Coker here. Anyone else jump out to you?
I mean, I hate Khalil Shakir, but that sounds like the nicest name on the board, so I don't mind taking him.
We do have the Buffalo connection with Cook, so that's fine. If we're trying to get more wide receivers, you got your guy Shaheed, Coker, Cooper, Jalen McMillan, Jawan Jennings, Goddard's here.
Let's go Chris Rodriguez, and then we'll be done at running back.
There you go. Now you're a best ball girl. We'll be done at running back. James Cook, Kyron, Javonte, Jadarian Price. How you feeling about this stuff?
The draft, bro, we're cooked. We're not making any money. I mean, actually, no, we're doing great. This is the best team that I've ever seen in my entire life. Anyone that's not drafting this way, you suck. You've lost your edge. So
yeah, no, you're getting your portfolio diversity on my account today. I appreciate some of the late comers into the chat. Unfortunately, this is going to be our last draft today. I need to go do a few things, including getting out this video. And I will say, just to give people an idea of the timeline, the Contenders and Locks episode, like I just referenced to Wells, that is in the can. The editors have it. As you guys saw with the Mayo audition video, there's a lot of post-production that goes into it to make these really tight, fun, well-edited videos. We also jumped the line a little bit to produce this video about last night's After Dark. So that'll be coming out hopefully later today. Almost everything's ready. And then I have to check in with my other editors, maybe tomorrow. If it's not ready tomorrow, I'm probably not going to release it on the weekend. It probably would be a Monday release. I'm hoping, though, I would love to be able to do a live premiere tomorrow afternoon, but I need the video to be good more than anything else. So I don't want to string you guys along any longer, but we got to make sure the video is good.
And I think that you've done a really, really good job. Although, I mean, it's kind of hard to wait, and especially being a Zoomer and getting everything immediately and being able to binge basically any show that I want to. It's been pretty fun, getting to watch just every episode, and getting to be in most of the episodes, or at least a little shout out. So
yeah, and I think
fun.
the hope is that there's enough content happening in real time, whether it's shows like this, whether it's what we did on After Dark, whether it's Mitchell, making content from the Tout House, that there's conversation and energy to kind of support the lulls when we are in the editing thing. Because you think about how a regular reality show is edited, they bank all that footage, they record everything, and then they get to go back in with the knowledge and the hindsight of what happened. And they're like, oh, this guy wins, let's give him this edit.
And they have months.
They have months, all of this stuff. So we are trying to do this on the fly while also building an evergreen show thing where someone can go back to the first episode and watch this through. So I do definitely going to want patience, but ultimately the quality of this show is the number one factor when it comes to release. Okay. We are about to pick at the 13-14 turn. We have a 1-5-5-1 build right now. Stroud,
what a team.
Stroud is the top of the suggestion. The quarterbacks are flying off the shelves. If you like a Stroud, Bryce Young in this,
we're not doing that for our QB. What do we have for wide receivers?
You got Travis Hunter, Deebo Samuel, Jeremy Bernard.
We'll take Travis. I take no Travis. Just going along for the bit.
Every single pick you're taking someone you don't normally take? What the fuck, bro?
No, I take Jadarian Price.
All right. And so what's your quarterback plan? Now I don't trust you.
My quarterback plan is to get Fernando Mendoza and to get Aaron Rodgers.
Okay. Who else do you want here at the other?
Do you trust me now? That's a great plan.
Really, who do you want?
Brock Bowers?
Wait, dude.
We have Chigakonkwo. Okay.
You just got Woody Marks, though.
That's terrible. I take him never.
I told you
might be good for the bit.
To get your shit together, and you didn't.
My bad. I didn't get together. That's on me.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, you're on thin ice, brother. You're on thin. You know how I just allowed Wells to late reg the competition? Can you imagine if you piss me off enough where I'm like, you're out, oh, now you're in, and now you're fucking out again, BBChosen.
That would be some good content though. But you'd have to give me another fan vote where the odds were really, really stacked in my favor that I could give you yet another subscription to. You're
losing the crowd, dude. You're losing the crowd. Jake says, "Can I change my vote to Angry Dragon?" Because I take blame. The Khalil Shakur pick last draft was definitely my fault. I'm assigning you the Woody Marks blame here.
No, yeah, that's completely on me. I didn't realize that. I thought that we had just picked twice in a row. I was totally going to take Chigakonkwo right there, but
okay,
we'll take Woody Marks and be done at running back yet again.
Yeah, I love the idea of how many more times can we be done at running back? We're like an old detective coming back from one more time. Pulled in for one more running back.
All right, but what if Woody Marks is the guy you need week 17, and it just looks brilliant?
That could be. Unfortunately, we're gonna have multiple zeros at quarterback, and so it won't matter.
That was rude.
I'm sorry. Let's see here. This is go easy cards. Chosen knows he won't get $3,750 in site credit, so he's abusing his 25. What a bar.
Hey, I could do it. I'm ready. I'm ready to be number one.
Good. That's what I want to see. What were your other reactions from last night? Maybe some of the other applicants who got reviewed, their scores.
Well, so there are a couple things. I think there was some collateral damage in some ways. I think Trev kind of got screwed because I think Emo thinks that Rick is good friends with Trev, which I think that they are. But I think that Emo should have rated Trev a little bit higher. And then in the same, I think that that BBG shouldn't have gotten a 3. I just don't think that was necessarily deserved. Now, there were some people that I just couldn't remember their applications, and so I'm not necessarily going to speak on that. But I know that there were quite a few people that were like put in like a 5 or a 6 that were like well above me that I don't necessarily agree with, but I'm supposed to fight for myself. But all in all, I really think that emo just kind of wanted to get out of there, and they were just kind of agreeing on a lot more picks, or just kind of meeting in the middle, which meeting in the middle is just kind of boring in some ways. So I don't really hold a lot of weight on that board, to be honest.
Yeah, we really deprived the paying YouTube members for more content. I thought some of those debates on the players and the scores were going to take a longer, and everybody acted like they had another stream to get to or something.
Yeah, I mean, you probably should have had like emo drink like a couple shots of vodka or something before he got on, and then Rick do the same. That would have been a lot more interesting.
You know what? There are lots of noted reports about predatory practices in reality TV production and making contestants drink alcohol for the sake of entertainment. I just want to say on record right now, so you think you can tout will not find themselves embroiled in such a scandal. If our contestants want to drink on their own accord, Godspeed. We support you in that, but we will not be forcing alcohol upon you.
Do we have Gunnar Helm right here at tight end?
Yes, we do. We have. Is he your guy?
We're gonna be done. Yeah,
I'm gonna ask you once again. What's your tight end plan or quarterback plan now that Fernando Mendoza is gone? Do we need to just pull the trigger on Rodgers, or what are you doing?
We're still going Gunnar Helm, dude. And
I know we have 2 picks, as you famously forgot last round.
Yeah, we'll go Aaron Rodgers here.
Okay. Is this going to be a 2 quarterback build, or do you have a rabbit in your hat?
I do. I'm not gonna share with the class just yet, though. We'll see.
Okay, I'm scared. I'm so scared. All right, let me recap the team for the audio listeners who feel alienated by my in a vacuum avatar. Bo Nix and Aaron Rodgers at quarterback. What a room. What a room. James Cook, Kyron Williams, Javonte Williams, Jadarian Price. We're done at running back. Wait, what about Chris Rodriguez? No. We're really done at running back. Wait. What about Woody Marks? Roma Dunze, DK Metcalf, Cortland Sutton, Michael Pittman Jr., Khalil Shakur. What a Leone-ass room. Travis Hunter as well. Tight end Brock Bowers. And Gunner, let me select you in lowball weekly DFS Helm.
I didn't understand that last bit, but that's probably okay.
Were you weren't watching our first guest? That's why you didn't get it. Our previous guest, McLean, he has developed a game that he plays with some of his friends where it's fantasy, but it's lowball. And he mentioned that Gunnar Helm is like one of the kings of lowball because he has a rule where they can't just not play and get a 0. Like they have to be on the field, but it's whoever registers snaps and still gets a 0. And I guess Gunnar Helm was very good for that.
Huh. Well, Gunnar Helm's going to be way better this year, so watch out.
Okay, we have, let's see here, 2 more picks. They will come back to back, which is what happens when you're at the turn. We got a 2-6-6-2. I do think quarterback is very much a position of need. Running back is very much not a position of need. Probably good at tight end. It just comes down to, do you want to go double 4 quarterback build or get a 7th wide receiver as well?
So, does Cleveland have any stacking options currently at wide receiver?
Okay, here we go. No, unless you think Cedric Tillman and Isaiah Bond are still on the radar.
No. Oh man. Who do we have at wide receiver?
We have Rome, DK Metcalf, Sutton, Pittman, Shakir, Hunter. So there's nothing more on the quarterback bone here. Actually, Kirk Cousins. You could do Kirk Cousins with Brock if you think he could play in week 17.
I actually think that we will probably do. Are we on the clock yet?
No, I will tell you when we're on the clock.
What are our wide receiver options?
Wide receiver options by ADP. We're in Malik Washington, Tank Dell, Wicks, Branch, Surratt. You could do something with an Atlanta quarterback and Branch. That's a little fun.
Yeah, let's do Branch and do Penix.
Okay. We'll see if this room complies.
So,
I also think, this room is probably too light at wide receiver to not get a 7th.
Well, I mean, we have a cornerback as our wide receiver 6, so I would agree.
I mean, this team is devastatingly bad. The lack of quarterback room, the excess running backs, the lack of firepower at wide receiver. everything about it is just a
What are-
masterclass in what not to do in Best Ball Mania drafts right now.
What are the odds that that Bo Nix starts game 1?
What are the odds that Bo Nix starts game 1?
Because he's hurt, right? I think that he's.
Oh, I think it's pretty high though. Hang on, we're on the clock.
Okay.
Well, let's do this after.
Do we have Branch and Penix?
Let's see. No, Branch just went. You could get Pat Bryant stacked up with Nix if you want.
Okay. Well,
Or which quarterback do you want? Let's do the quarterback.
we'll go Penix.
All right. Okay, we'll take Penix and then you can decide.
I've
here.
heard a little birdie that Sacrilegious has like 50% Penix.
Yes,
So I feel like
leg
that's
up
really good.
Cabal is very in on the Penix. That is the word on the street. Who
Yeah,
do you want
Pat
for the
Bryant
Falcons?
is great. I love Pat Bryant actually.
Okay. All right. Here's the squad. Chat, as someone who is intimately familiar with rating BBChosen, at this time, I need a score 1 out of 10 out of this team he just drafted. Bo Nix, Aaron Rodgers, Michael Penix, James Cook, Kyron Williams, Javonte Williams, Jadarian Price, Chris Rodriguez, Woody Marks, Roma Dunze, DK Metcalf, Cortland Sutton, Michael Pittman Jr., Khalil Shakur, Travis Hunter, Pat Bryant, Brock Bowers, Gunnar Helm. I feel like I need to give out barf bags to the audience
So
today.
Pete, there isn't something. So when this team wins, what's my split?
I already told you that if it makes it to the finals, the BBM finals, you get 50% of any prize money.
All right, make sure you name it.
I will. I will.
Yeah.
I'm going to use,
Yeah.
I'm going to pull out the very rarely utilized vomit emoji for the name. But
Okay,
you want to know why that bodes
throwing
well
up
for
money.
me? Because
What?
last year, I used the throwing up emoji on only one of 150 teams, and that team advanced.
There we go.
Oh,
This is one of those like teams that you count out, and then, bro, underdog story, kind of like me. It's gonna come back to bite you in the end.
1.13, a BBG,
Bro.
whatever that means. Is that a 3, a 2, a 2, 2 on the team, but 10 for giving me a shout out. There you go. Let's just say, for your sake, be thankful that it's so you think you can tout and not so you think you can draft, because this would have been an absolute train wreck for your submission on that front.
Well, I mean, I feel like that's rude. And then, yeah, I mean, the entire thing was Pat ripping on people that had actually won money. Like that's not good for business. Everyone has to lose money. So, I'm just encouraging everyone right here.
Also, I just want to point this out. So Buck earlier said take Mims, and then a username I've never seen before named Marvin Moms. What a username. 1 out of 10. Where did you come from, Marvin Moms?
That's quite the name.
What a pun. All right, beautiful stuff. 3 drafters today. Sorry, Best Ball Alec. You snooze, you lose.
Thank you, Best Ball Alec.
Yes, yeah, you really swooped in there. Any final words, BBChosen? You got to win the chat back over. You got to win the people over. It's been rough.
Bro, screw you guys. This team is gonna win. You guys can, come back in my DMs and cry about it later. What a team! Thanks so much, Pete, for having me on, and it was really fun, hearing some of your advice and whatnot. And I'll do my best to apply it.
Awesome. Thanks to everybody in the chat. Thank you to you YouTube members. I'm going to go review and upload a video to the Tout. So you think you can Tout channel now. If you guys missed last night or you want to see some more of what happened, we're going to stitch together a highlight reel that will go up. And other than that, keep an eye out. Like I said, I can't overpromise. I would love if we could do a live premiere tomorrow afternoon. Realistically, it might be Monday, but I promise official cut down. And I can tell you this. I'll do a little teaser just to kind of toss everybody a bone. We are going from 135 applicants, and we are whittling it down to 26. I will give people that. Obviously, we mentioned on After Dark last night, there's going to be a few locks, and then there's a larger group of contenders like BBChosen, like Wells from the beginning of the stream, who will have an additional challenge. So that is where we're at. I promise you the content's coming soon. Thank you to everybody in the chat. I will see you guys around, and go keep an eye out for that video. Peace.
See ya.